Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's David Palmer, the Leo King, and Craig Skidmore here for Deep Love Tarot, your weekly love forecast for the week of November 23rd through the 29th of 2020 here on HighVibe.tv. Guess what? Of course, this show is exclusive on HighVibe.tv. Of course, we do it to YouTube and other platforms, but because it is Black Friday coming up, guess what? We are doing an awesome sale, Holiday 2020, 20% off all membership and all paid videos and everything on HighVibe.tv. You can use it for anything on HighVibe.tv. So go to HighVibe.tv, use that discount code HOLIDAY2020 and get a big discount on your monthly, or you can do the 3-month subscription or the 6-month subscription. And we're doing this till Sunday. So you don't have to use this just on Friday. We're doing this for the whole entire week. It's going to be super awesome, and you get all my daily, weekly, exclusive content and all the other shows that are on High Vibe with all the other awesome talent. We're doing so much on here, and you can watch it on all the different apps below or the website. And I just want to put out this. Our Instagram for High Vibe just is about to reach 10,000, so if you want to give that a follow, I never actually ever asked people to follow things, but I was like, you know what? It'd be kind of cool to get that High Vibe Instagram up there so we can start doing some fun stuff on there. And we have a lot of cool things that are rolling out here with High Vibe. I've just been talking about it with Craig and Ann here, and we have a meeting about some of that stuff tomorrow. So thanks for all the support, and thanks for all the support for those that love this show and spread it out and always give the word out, as we like to give love and the tarot and the astrology in a way that definitely is a lot more different and disruptive. Especially, I think we're all over all this Capricorn and ready for some wild Aquarius. How you doing, Mr. Craig?
Oh, I'm doing well. Hold on one second.
I'm doing well. Like,
I'm doing well. I got a new sweatshirt this weekend. I'm staying warm. I'm liking the color. It's like a sherbet situation going on here, and I'm feeling the vibe. I'm feeling pretty in pink over here, so I can't complain.
Sherbet.
I can't complain.
That was the first thing I said when you came in the office today. I was like, nice sweatshirt, brother.
It's like a shirt that's like I'm playing Mario Kart.
I like that your chair isn't blocking me so people could see that I'm finishing up a smoke here. I was like, oh, okay. But I guess we're just like going full blown that way. It's cool with me. You know, no big deal.
You're live 24/7.
Yep. No more. I can't be like, all 12th housey and like all secret back here. But that's cool with me. If you never watched the show before, we are going to go into your love readings. Of course, number one, I'm going to do the astrology for the collective at the beginning. And then, of course, we're going to pull the cards. But after that, we do the astro dice. And then we, of course, go into your individual sun signs from the
I love gold chalice goblet cup.
I love gold chalice goblet cup.
I love so much
filled with all of your zodiac signs. So that's what makes this show very unique. And how many decks am I using today? I have at my availability, but I'm probably going to use, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 decks. Ready to go. There's more on the outside here and more on the outside here. There's so many decks going. We're going to have a good one today. It is going to be fun. We're going to find out what's up for love. We got eclipses coming up. We got Venus going to oppose Uranus. It's going to be fun. So I say we go right into this collective reading, doggy. Do it. Woo! And if you didn't watch the little story that Craig and I just did on Instagram and on TikTok, check it out. Even though it was like, I don't know, it's all right. It's all right. But definitely Mr. Craigie in there was getting down on that one. So collective, it is one of those weeks, right? We're in Sag. Have you been feeling the fire energy, hopes and dreams, and also the things that I want to say this, with the South Node being in Sag, with the sun, things that we believe were our doors are going to close. But the better things that we've always wanted to open that maybe we didn't believe were possible are going to open, but we got to walk through them. And that includes in love. And I think that's one of the things, right? It's almost like I think we've been shortchanging ourselves. And I think that this is a time to not shortchange ourselves anymore. Top of that, we got Venus and Scorpio going to oppose Uranus and Taurus. This one to me is quite interesting. We saw Mercury retrograde through here over these last 6-7 weeks. And then we saw Mercury do this opposition 3 times. Now it's Venus only 1 time. And so this is definitely a moment. Venus and Scorpio is a detriment, but it has its needs, it has its wants, and so does Taurus with Uranus there of connecting. And so this is whether or not we're turning the light socket onto physical, deeper, emotional, amazing hungry hippos that we all are for love, or we're disconnecting because we don't feel that energy. But there's going to be a lot of flips of the script here on you having to change and find, are you willing to have a better life and a better energy when it comes to love and get your deep truth? You're going to have to take some risk. We're going to see Mercury and Scorpio all week, make that trine to Neptune, which is happening here on Monday, and then make sextiles over to Jupiter and Pluto. And we have Saturn coming at 28 degrees, so it's almost out. Remember that in less than a month, Saturn and Jupiter are moving into Aquarius. So it's like the domino effect is starting to happen of fate. And this is one of those weeks where, especially because we come into Monday next week with a lunar eclipse in Gemini, and we come into the eclipse season, and this is going to be much different than the other eclipse seasons that we have been going through, those Cancer and Capricorn ones. And we finished the last Cancer eclipse on June 21st, or June 20th, I think, but it was the solstice. And this one definitely going to wild things up and bring stimulation and change your world and change your environment, especially when it comes to love. To finish things off too, the moon going through a lot of the personal energy, right? It's out of this Pisces energy and coming into Aries, Taurus, and then Gemini by this weekend. So we are going to be definitely focused on our personal lives and our needs and our wants and our hungers and our desires and our new stories to write, especially with all the Sag energy. There's so much about new stories, and I think that's so important for us to remember that we can have those great, amazing, positive stories. We can have those more doors open. But I think that, are we going to keep shortchanging ourselves? I keep getting that. I think that Venus and Scorpio will shortchange itself if we are addicted to the either A, partnerships that aren't working, X's that don't work, or just ourselves holding ourselves back from having bliss in our life. Like, this is where you don't want to do that. Uranus and Taurus wants to bring us to that ultimate bliss. We also are going to see the Sun trine Chiron here coming into Tuesday, Wednesday, and I think that that is extreme for healing so much of these stories and ourselves, that our ego has kind of identified ourselves in this kind of like, I don't know. It's like we're almost laughing at ourselves. Like, why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we keep staying in these weird positions in ourselves? It's like we're going to have to heal and break through so many of these things. This is a big breakthrough week, especially on the heels of a big eclipse. So, right, this is a big eclipse, even though it is not going to be some like total eclipse, right? It's not a total lunar. It's not like some like holy cow, but it is definitely an eclipse that is going to trigger this whole entire nodal activity. The big deal, though, and I almost forgot about it because it's very Neptunian of me. Neptune comes direct on Saturday, a day before the eclipse, and it's going to square the nodes. So talk about dreams and talk about, love stories and all that. This is where we almost feel like we're all numb, but that's what's weird is Venus is going to try and shock our system with the opposition to Uranus here. Uranus actually is going to shock it and be like, do you want to go into a magical story, or do you want to keep just kind of holding yourself back into some sort of weird numb state? And I'm here to tell you, I don't think that we've already been numb enough this year and having to go through the numbing, through the weirdness of 2020. I don't think people are going to want to do that anymore. So let's see what the cards have to say for the collective this week after that. First card that we got here is the Three of Swords reversed. Oh, wow. Let's avoid heartbreak as much as possible. But this could be kind of a problem if you're afraid to go into things because of heartbreak, or you already are in a really shitty relationship and there's heartbreak there and you're avoiding it. So that works both ways, right? If you're single, you're like, I don't know, I'm kind of like in a place where I'm holding myself back, or you haven't let go of an old heartbreak. I'll call those people out. But I think that definitely it's like there's nothing more heartbreaking than sitting in shit. And that means holding yourself back from love in any form or fashion, staying in something that sucks, or not going into anything because you're just kind of like playing on the fence on things. Our challenge card that we got is the 8th house. Ooh, endings and beginnings. That's the challenge, right? It's like, oh, do I start something here, or how do I end it? Do I end this cycle I'm in? And you know what? An 8th house, right? Sex, intimacy, it's like all in, right? So talk about like, there's a little bit of like avoidance. And now I was talking about numbing. It's interesting to see the cards pull up this way already. Our overall card that we got here is the Ace of Cups reversed. Wow. So overall, we definitely need our I Love Gold chalices filled. It's empty. There's no water in here. There's no emotion. There's no feeling. We need that. We need a resurgence here. And this reversal says that we're all at the end road here. We're like, I am done not feeling fulfilled emotionally with where I want to be with partnerships, and I am ready to fill that cup. But I think it's going to take, you can't avoid, I have to say this because love, there's always going to be in everything, right? There's love and there's transformation. I don't even want to say the term death, right? Because we got the 8th house here. But everything does eventually come to what we seem as an end, but it doesn't. So go and live life to your fullest. Go live the true happiness. Go live the true love. Eventually, somebody will die. You know what I mean? Like, that's just life, right? So, I mean, but it's like, that's just whatever that happens from the universe. So it's like, why are we afraid or putting up walls too? 8th house can put up a lot of walls or feel trust issues or intimacy issues. Like, this is definitely where we got to break through all this stuff. Our shadow of all that is, ooh, look at this, the masquerade. We're putting on masks that really aren't us. And I think that we're putting on like some sort of mask that we aren't allowing ourselves to receive, to change our lives, to bring in new things. And we need to take that off. That's the shadow of why we're having trust issues or integrating and starting new things or pushing things off. I see a lot of people, from clients to just people push things like, oh, like, let me push it off a couple more days. Let me push things off another week. Let me push things off. I don't want to deal with things now. And that's the mask that, because maybe we're too afraid to just be honest and vulnerable and reveal the deep stuff. The reason why we pulled that 3 of Swords, we got the 8 of Swords. Wow. So we don't want to get into a toxic place. That's granted. I get it. But is the toxic place us avoiding what we think is heartbreak, but we're in heartbreak? So that's toxic? Like, it's almost like somebody, it's almost like with partnerships, it's like, oh, I feel like I'm safer to not do something or to just kind of stay in my shithole to avoid toxicity, when that's the toxicity itself. When I think love is the ultimate breaker of all toxic things in life. The way that we are going to try to understand the Ace of Cups reversed, why are people feeling so emotionally not there? Knight of Cups. We need to move forward, and you know what? It's new love. Actually, I gotta give a shout out because this deck is done by a very good friend of mine, and I wish I had the name of the deck here to go get it. But I will put that all up underneath below. But I just, she's Sag, she's awesome, and love your deck so much. And she's been friends of mine for a long time. She's sent this deck. But Knight of Cups upright. I mean, this is moving forward in emotional new positions in order. You have to take that courage that the Knight takes, and you have the armor on, and you can't stay stuck. You got to move forward. And you got to move into the emotional places that you want to be. Our overall cards that we got here is, wow, Page of Pentacles upright. And I'm doing it with, wow, the Talisman. Well, you know what? It's time to move into the things that we want to feel in the physical element to change. And we need to unlock those doors. And we need to open them. We need to open new doors. And this is, if you're getting things about relationships and situations that are positive, that are about to build new doors, and talking about building things in life, then it's right. If it's like avoiding of wanting to build things, I'd stay away. Or anybody that doesn't want to like totally send you the message that they want to build something with you or create something with you or grow something beautiful with you. These are the doors that are unlocking beautiful things. Our astro dice that we pulled we got the 3rd house with the moon in Libra. So this is definitely a very, very stimulating week about relationships and communication and figuring things out emotionally and where things are at, and finding that true emotional space that we need to be with relationships. But we have to communicate, and we have to also look at the environment we're in. Is this the environment that we get ourselves in that really is bringing us that emotional peace in our life and that ability to connect? Or have we created an environment that is kind of crazy, and we're kind of crazy because we're not allowing the environment to bring the peace that we want to have in our life emotionally? It's definitely going to be about stimulation this week. And why are we avoiding the stimulation of positivity and staying in the stimulation of emptiness?
Yeah, I think it's time that we engage again. There's been a lot of detachment.
Oh, don't get all Top Gun on me. Maverick's engaging.
Maximum velocity, time to engage. No, but we gotta become a player in the game again. I think we all have learned a lot of these the last 11 months or so. kind of what it is that we're looking for in this life, who it is when it comes to friendships and relationships. And of course that goes along with who it is that we want as lovers in this life as well. I think it's a lot that we taught now. And I think that it's time that we actually put that into play. We put that energy into motion and say, yeah, okay, this individual is not actually going to work for me in the long run, but there's going to be people there that are going to spark that interest. And it's time to actually take that next step and get back into the game and start feeling that fulfillment again. You know, whatever that happiness is it's going to bring you, you have to put yourself back in the opportunity to let that grow and to let that happiness kind of, so you can cultivate it and move forward in your life.
Yeah, because if you don't move forward and you stay in the same place, you said engagement. I don't even know if you ever said that word, right? About engaging it.
Enhance and engage.
I'm sorry. I'm a Top Gun guy. I was in the Navy. Maverick's re-engaging. He's getting in, and that's the whole thing. It reminds me of Top Gun. When Goose dies, he has trouble getting back up into the plane. He has trouble getting back into it, and then they let him. He had enough credit, so he graduates. But when he gets to that wartime, he's all afraid, right? And then he starts freaking out a little bit up there. But it's when he finally finds that confidence again and he re-engages and then he, shoots down the bogeys and next thing you know, woo, it's all great. And then him and Val Kilmer are best friends now. I mean, I think that this is the way that you even just presented all that and then it just brought up Top Gun. I don't know. There's something about having to re-engage in life and get over the pitfalls, the weird shit that has happened and get back moving again and get back into things because this is just not the year to just keep sitting in that shit.
No, because it's going to continue just to fester, if we don't actually, once again, engage, get back into it, get back into like finding yourself. Everything that we've learned over this last year, it's all with us now. And I think it's time to actually put that into play and progress forward. Be who it is that you want to be and allow the others to be there in your life that you seem fitting. And if they don't, then don't feel bad about cutting that shit out either.
I know, and I think that it's important for people to stop festering around.
Yeah.
All right, let's see who the first zodiac is tonight on this beautiful, crisp Monday evening in November in Sagittarius with the moon finishing in Pisces. One just fell out like a good old fish flop. Was it the fishes? No, it was the Aries. The Aries are actually first, and they are the first zodiac sign, so.
That must be good luck.
Aries
in the house.
Aries, all right. Let's see what's going on with the Aries. First card that you got here is the Hermit reversed. That's good. You know me, I don't like the Hermit when it pops up in a love reading. I like it reversed. It means that you're ready to come out of hiding or ready to come out. Although I would say this, it is still a Hermit card. Maybe you've been kind of stewing on something, or maybe you've been stewing on making a move in your relationship, or you've been dating somebody and you still haven't really, you're going to make your choice this week, I feel. I mean, we have a lot more cards to pick, but I feel like you're definitely not going to be the crash test dummy anymore. Just kind of like, let me keep seeing. I think you got to make your call. Is it safe to do it? Are you ready to come out and play or fully or go engage? Or if you're dealing with a partner who keeps playing the test scenario about situations or just isn't really engaging as they should, I think that you have to question that. Let's see what the challenge is. Let's figure this out even more. You got the Scorpio transformation. Ooh, that's a challenge. Ooh, if you're dealing with a Scorpio, that might be the issue, Aries, number one. Number two, it definitely is. There's something about this transforming to the new zone or letting go of it or moving into an integration. So, or there could be sex issues going on too. Maybe, I don't know.
Sex.
Maybe Cialis needs to be on the radar. I don't know.
Hey, whatever gets the party started.
Whatever gets the party started, I guess, right? The Magician reversed is your overall. Ooh, we got the Hermit and the Magician reversed. Definitely feels like maybe you're trying to create something that's magical, that has all the spiritual divinity and everything, and it's really not. I think I'm just gonna pull that up, Aries. If you're trying with somebody new, if you're in a current relationship, maybe the magic and it kind of feels like you just don't know where you're going right now, especially looking at this Neptune coming direct. You're definitely kind of in a numb state and maybe trying to make magic, but there's you don't want to get yourself into a pattern that's stuck. The shadow of that is addicted. I think that you're addicted to want a deep connection, but does that mean that you just pick anybody? Or maybe you need to try something new if you're in a relationship to find that and see what the hell's going on here. Why'd you pull that Hermit reversed? You pulled the Tower reversed. Owie. I feel like this is like a fear of the information you know and hurting somebody. Maybe it's just simple like, hey, I'm really not into these things. You don't want a tower moment. You're afraid of it all collapsing. But maybe that's the way to test to see if it's actually built on solid ground or not, right? Like sometimes you have to be like, hey, like I'm kind of not into that, not into this. And I know that you want your deep, intense, powerful, yeah, but you know, you got to be truthful too. And if it's going to fall, it's going to fall. If it's not, it's not. But you can't avoid it. You can't avoid it and not speak up. And the info that you've been kind of holding on to here, the Magician card that you pulled, 2 cards came up, so I'm going to pull both of them for you. 7 of Pentacles and 5 of Cups. Whew. Okay, so there's definitely... I think that the sorrow that comes out of this card always and the feeling that there's a little bit empty, but there's still good stuff. It feels like there's just something not clicking emotionally. And then to get the 7 of Pentacles, like you've been putting a lot of work in and the return's not fully there. I would say that's going on for Aries right now. It's like feeling like I'm not getting where I want to go. And I don't think that you can, you know, laboratory this motherfucker and like try and change that situation by laboratorying it or creating something new. I got a feeling, and I think we'll see what these overalls here show. The Hermit. Ooh, wow, yeah. Divinity. That's the issue, is that I feel that you can't make somebody divine. And I think though that you feel like creeping out, but I think at the same time there's something still holding you back because you're actually knowing the true divine. If it's not there, it's not there. And I think that those are the combos that you need to have. Those are the situations that you need to figure out. And you need to make sure that you're, especially in these times right now, Aries, I think that you need to make sure that you're really clear about the spiritual end of things and making sure that if you're not feeling the return, or maybe you won't get a return, or you're feeling like you're trying to fill some sort of hole just with something, even if it's not exactly the way that you want to on the deeper spiritual front, and just because you want some sort of transformation. I've got a feeling, Aries, too, there's something about Scorpio. They got Scorpio in their chart, or Scorpio connections, or, you know, it's just the need of a deep yearning. And especially for you, it's like, I think that you need to make sure that you know what you're investing in, that actually, if you see something that's not worth investing in, that means there is something already that you've been not looking at. That's what I'm feeling. That is from the divine. And it's like, exit that and see the door that opens in this new direction. Your astro dice that you pulled is you pulled the 10th house with Libra in Uranus. Yeah, I would say this is definitely like, you know, it's responsibility that you need to take for yourself, and that you can still find access to crazy and exciting connections. They just have to be in true alignment with you. And I think that that's the thing, is you're going to have to try and find new ways to be an adult and be like, hey, I deserve the best in the relationship front. I don't need to just find like petty, chill like excitement. Like I need to find like the real connection, and I have to take responsibility for that and realize that not only the connections I choose determine my long-term life, they determine my destiny. And I don't want your destiny to be turned in the wrong direction this week, Aries, based off the way certain things might be going that aren't feeling that you're getting your investment and you feel empty, and trying to fill that by an easy integration or change and whatever's going on there with the Scorpio problems and stuff.
Well, it could be that a little bit of fear of growth as well. You know, it's again, it kind of goes back to what we were saying with that collective reading. You know, it's we've kind of been stuck within ourselves, stuck within our thoughts at times, that it's getting kind of hard to put that back out into the universe, to actually let our energy back out of the cage, so to speak. And there can't be that fear. You know, if you get stuck in your head for too long, you're just going to continue to hold yourself back, and you're going to impede that growth that you're actually searching for, that you're actually capable of having. So I think it's really important right now for the Aries to not focus on themselves as much, but to focus on the partnerships and focus on the relationships that are already present, and actually see what's going on in the world around you. Instead of just internalizing everything, put it out into the universe. Ask those questions that need to be spoken and see where the connections go from there. But you can't be feared, and you can't be stuck in your head any longer. I think it's time to take those steps necessary to get back into life and to get back into the happiness.
Yeah, I think because taking steps in life and to get back to happiness doesn't mean, I mean, we've all done it, right? Like we think we can do this or that and it'll just bring us an instant quick happy, but it's not gonna last. And I think it is about everlasting love, because I don't think that you want to sit in your bed for the rest of this year listening to like Stained and like, it's been a while and going down those roads.
Yeah, wipe those tears off.
No, or I don't know, listening to what's something kind of depressing, like I don't know. I don't listen to depressing music.
Right.
Last week I think we were messing with Chumbawamba.
It can be different for everybody.
But I don't know. Just don't go there, Aries. Don't go to that.
Get out of your head.
Huh?
They got to get out of their head.
Yeah. Well, how funny you mentioned heads, and we got Virgo, somebody who has definitely a lot going on in their head. Virgo was the next sign. Virgos. What is depressing? Gosh. Stained is pretty depressing.
Yeah. It's been a while.
It's been a while since I fucking found anything worth living for.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I'm like going through my own Spotify playlist, and then I'm like going through like my 40,000 DJ tracks. I'm like,
Well, let's see. It said the most depressing songs. We got a couple Radiohead songs on there. How to Disappear Completely. True Love Walls.
Maybe just sitting in your room and listening to like Slipknot.
The Smiths, I Know It's Over. We got another. Radiohead's got three of the top four.
Why do you think every time I went to Coachella, I saw Radiohead once, but I always avoided Radiohead. I was like, I'm not. It's just like.
Anne just texted me. She said Morrissey.
Well, yeah, but I would say that Radiohead is depressing.
Yeah,
It's depressing at Coachella too. Back in the day when it was real, when Coachella was gangster.
They got some trippy songs as well, though.
They do, but then it makes sense now to me. Actually, just thinking about this, like the people that were obsessed with Radiohead at Coachella were depressed beings. Sorry, just giving out some truth. Virgo, let's see what's going
Everybody Hurts by REM.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, that's the one. For sure.
Well, I was going to say maybe a Sheryl Crow song here or there, or like a Alanis Morissette, those Geminis, but they definitely like give the whole like, well, fuck you. So, I don't know. Actually, I don't think there's anything more depressing than listening to mainstream radio. 3 of Wands, Virgo, is your first card. That's an awesome card. It's definitely opening up to new lanes and to new highways in your life. I like this card, rendition of the world, and definitely out on the bike having a good time. But it's time to move into new directions, relationship wise, open up new doors. I think that you might be hyper focused on some things that maybe that's not just like where it is. Or if you're in a relationship, you definitely need to be more open. Maybe your partner's asking for you to like open up in different ways, and it's time to take that open door and open up to new perspectives. You got the first house as your issue, the body too. This has to deal with your identity. Maybe you're not feeling confident right now in yourself. Could be a body issue. Could be more, maybe your work, something like that. Something that's not making you feel confident in yourself. Maybe you even get maybe your partner, or maybe somebody you're dating that has wandering eyes, and then that makes you go, oh shit. I think that you need to be more open and show the dreams that are possible in your life and the visions that you want to have. And maybe that's hard for you. Maybe because of the identity that you're stuck in right now. So there's definitely some identity issues going on, and whether or not it's time to expand those into a different place is definitely not even a question. It is time to do that. You pulled the 3 of Wands again. I mean, if I'm getting 3 of Wands twice now, I like this zombie deck because there's that family up there playing on the piano, and there comes the zombies with a big bone that they ate off something. It looks like they probably ate it off an elephant. And they're coming into that house, and they're just up there, oh, we're just singing, having a nice time up here. Not paying attention to their environment and to their world is another 3 of Wands thing, and looking out at new things. I think that you are hyper-focused on something that you think is beautiful, that you don't know that something's knocking at that door. Zombie wise. We'll see what the shadow is to help you out here. What is that shadow? Oh, you're bright in a cage. You feel stuck in a cage. I think that you're creeping within yourself, or you're trapping yourself in a situation, into an identity situation. I think this is about your own identity. I think this is about your own ego. It's definitely this first house. It's dealing with your rising sign here. I would say that you're definitely in a place where it's like, does this identity open the world that you even want to be? You know, if you're stressing over work, or what you do for work, or what you do in your life, and who you are, how you represent yourself, you know, there has to be some tweaking. I'm not saying that you have to do full crazy stuff, but there definitely has to be some tweaking, and that eventually leads to full stuff. The clarifier for the Three of Wands the first time is the Judgment card. Wow. Definitely need a higher divine purpose here in your life that you want to go to. I think that's actually something that you do have. I just think that it's like, maybe needing to integrate that more in your life and the partners that you choose, or in the relationship. It needs to find some sort of purpose that's divine by God or divine by spirit. Without that, I mean, it's basically kind of just like hopeless romantic. Why'd you pull this Three of Wands twice? Eight of Wands upright. Well, that's a great card. I mean, it's definitely the arrows of love moving in new directions. This is saying it's time to kind of move on to different areas. Look at different areas, or in your relationship, you need to bring the fire back. You need to bring the love back. You need to bring some positive energy back. I feel that you might be the Debbie Downer this week, that you are the one having to change your perspective and find a purpose and move out of the energy that you're in. I think if you're dating right now, I think that you're focused on relationship situations, or maybe a partnership that you already know is not really that great. And it's like, it doesn't have that much purpose. I think there's a fake purpose here that's not big. I don't know why I'm feeling that, especially we'll see right now. I'm feeling like there is Six of Cups. Okay. I think that's interesting. It's like, okay, is this more of a friendship than a love situation? Because I always feel that with Six of Cups. I especially feel like it's like, oh, or stuck on memories, or you're stuck on an ex or something like that too. And, oh, well, I'll add that in there, but I wasn't supposed to pull that. Four of Cups. Yeah, it's something that you don't want, but you're kind of like, it's boredom. It's definitely feeling like, I don't know if I really want this. If you're dating, if you're in a relationship, your relationship's definitely going through some like, how do I get back those good memories? It's not feeling that way right now. Past life. So if you're in a partnership, you're going through your past life situation. If you're dating right now, it's like, are you about to go into a past life fuck show? I don't think so. And I think that you have to reflect back and go like, where did things not really work out the way that you want to? And I think for yourself, it's like moving into the energy that you know connects to the past life energy, that connects you to where you want to be, instead of kind of messing around with this energy that's not really you, or you want to keep going through again. You pulled Saturn in the 6th house, in Capricorn. That's the house of enemies. Interesting. I would say in Capricorn too. Wow. I would say that this is definitely needing to take a responsibility for your life and clean up a lot of things in your life, especially if you're dealing with a partner who's messy or in drugs, or including yourself. This would mean that maybe like the stress that's overwhelming you right now, there is some sort of force that's kind of after you, and it might feel like it's your partner, but you got to look at yourself, and you got to look at how you're conducting yourself, and you got to look at where your environment is in your mind, and especially your soul, and even your mental health and stuff like that. And you got to get a better grip on things this week, because I feel like relationship wise for you, you need a partner that like understands you, but is willing to call your shit out, instead of you kind of getting away with whatever the fuck you want that you know is not in alignment right now.
And it can't be about trying to recreate the past or recreate happy experiences. You know, it's always about the evolution. Sometimes we get kind of caught up in this this thought process of, if we can get back to this certain situation, then X, Y, and Z will get fixed. You know, it'll bring that happiness back if I can recreate the happiness that I once felt. You know, and that's just going to perpetuate the issue of going back and forth of the ups and downs, which we need the ups and downs, but you have to have that appreciation of creating the new memories, of creating the new happiness, creating that new blissful sensation in your life, instead of just focusing on the past and what it could have been, or things could have turned out a little bit differently, because they are what they are. You're in this place in your life because of the emotional ups that you went through, and through the emotional stresses that you went through. But you have to tap into the progression of going forward. You have to tap into knowing that that things aren't always going to be, you know, how you want it. You can't force situations to just play out in your life. You have to kind of let them unfold as you take those necessary steps to keep on going, to keep on pushing forward. So I think it's really focusing on the future and yeah, taking tidbits of information from the past, you know, from their past relationships, and it could not even be the relationship that you're in. You know, honing on a little bit of that happiness and pushing forward. But don't dwell on the past and don't try to recreate that happiness, because you're just going to miss out on the progression of the future that's coming right for you.
Yeah, and I think that trying to bring back memories, I think was the best thing you said. Like, and then I got kind of like through a false sense of somebody else or something, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to bring up a trigger. Have you ever like hooked up with somebody, whether you kissed them or sometimes maybe you went all the way and you thought about somebody else?
But of course.
I think everybody's been there once or twice in their life. So,
Or just even the thought, like when you're with that individual and you're like, oh, I wish that I was with this other person. You
yeah,
know?
I
And
think that comes
can
up
actually
more.
like bring that, like knowing if you kind of are on the fence about someone, that's like, okay, yeah, I should pursue that. I'm in the wrong spot, wrong place, wrong time.
I think I was in my 20s. I dated this girl, and I remember I was just like, well, they kind of remind me of this girl I liked, and then I like thought about that other girl while I was having fun in bed, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. And then one time I was the victim of that, because one of my exes, like her fiance passed away, and then she ended up, you know, hanging out with me for a week, and she was doing the same thing to me. So I felt it on both sides, but I was cool with it because I mean, she went through a traumatic experience and I was there for her, but like, you know, it happens. And I feel like Virgos might be going through some of that right now. Call me crazy. Call me crazy, but that's just going on. Oh, we got Sages. Happy birthday, Sag. Sag is like, please give me a fucking good reading. Please. Please. Happy birthday, Sag. It's kind of weird because, I mean, I definitely feel the shift from Scorpio to Sag. But then with South Node here, it also feels like, is this really Sag? Oh, yeah, it is. It is. So don't feel weird if people are kind of weird about your birthday this year, Sag. Like, kind of like feeling like left out. That happens on South Node years when the sun's in your sign with South Node. Let's see what's going on with your first card for this love reading. You get the Queen of Pentacles. Well, I think that this is restoring a big week for you of knowing that you are the shit, that you have how much quality of a person that you are. Is your partner or the people that you're choosing or dating and stuff have that same quality back? Or are you the one with everything? Or I'm going to call it out, especially, you know, 85% of our audience are ladies. Are you with a scrub? And you're the one that's paying the bills and dealing with things? That popped up. Taurus, you knew it. That's the challenge. Boom. I think that you're having issues really wondering if you should hold on to a partnership that has to deal with especially financial issues. I don't think that the partner has the ability to create what you want. I think that, look at this. You have Queen of Pentacles. You want this great lavish life and good things in life, but it's not there, or they're delivering it to you and you don't have the ability to deliver it back, and it feels weird and it feels like you don't have it, your self-worth. So either way, it's self-worth tests. There's definitely some big self-worth tests. Also, it has to deal with physicality, has to deal with attractiveness. So, I mean, like, you know, are you really that attracted? Are you doing it, or are you doing it for money? Are you doing it for kind of a look? You did pull the victorious card to the Six of Wands upright. So I think victory comes when you can have what you want. I just think that your challenge here is like, are you sure you want to have what you have here? Because the only victory that's going to come is when you're actually in the energy of being able to have, and look at, there's money floating around in this thing and jewels. And I know that some people might get triggered about that shit, but it's like, I think that you really do have to look, especially in these times, the financial markets and stuff. You can't be crazy, Sag, and start like, you know, carrying somebody else's load or having somebody carry your load. Unless, you know, like you really want them. And like, it's like, you see a future with them and all that stuff. But I got a feeling that this is more of like the Sag is carrying the load for others. And then if you're happening to be a Sag and somebody's carrying the load for you, are you being used, you know? And are they really in love with you fully? Naked before the stars is your shadow. I feel like you're living a double life, but not like what we would think. I would say that you feel like you're kind of on your own spiritually, and you're listening to all these beautiful things in the universe, but you either have to explain it to your partner, or your partner's just not there with you, and there's kind of like you on the other side of the glass. And especially with that whole Taurus thing, it's almost like, and look at, she's definitely like all ready to have a good time, but she's on the other side of the glass. So it might feel like it's kind of weird. The last two readings, Aries, and then one of the readings, Aries, and then this one. I feel like, there's some issues about physicality here, attractiveness, passion in that way. And not like edge Scorpio passion, but this one would be more of like, I don't know if I like the smell of you. I don't know if I really look at you and go, Or somebody might be doing that to you, and that's messing with your self-worth, and you need to get out of that kind of situation. You have the Four of Wands in reverse. So if you're thinking about marriage, celebration in some sort of way, but all the pieces and the ingredients aren't there, I mean, I think that you're wasting your time. I also feel like there's not much to celebrate about when you're doing things because to either cheapen yourself, lighten your load, move, cut off because to save your money, stuff like that. Like, that's not a celebration. Your Queen of Pentacles that pulled up here. Like, you have the abundance, but you can't be with any partners or choosing partners that don't have that same abundance. And trying to throw a celebration, that's not something to celebrate about. Like, I'm downsizing, or like we're cutting things off while I can still carry the load, and I'm waiting on my partner to figure it out. Or you're that person in that scenario. That's fucking probably the worst feeling you could have in love ever. It's number one reason why people break up usually. You did get the Moon card reversed here with the Six of Wands. That's kind of rough because it's saying that your only victory is when you finally stop suppressing your real feelings. And I got a feeling there are issues on attractiveness. I think that you might be even attracted to other people and you're too afraid to say things. And I'm just gonna be honest with you. And that's your fucking issues going on right now. And I think that the universe is trying to have you avoid going into a really stupid situation. This is a full moon lunar eclipse that is happening as we come into Sunday into Monday. And it is in your relationship house. And Neptune coming direct in your emotional house. So the emotions are definitely a big deal that are going to be woken up. And I think you've been suppressing things and trying to just get through. You pulled the High Priestess. Your gut already knows. You already see the visions of what's going to happen. But I think that you have not been listening to them, and you have to listen to them now. And wow, you got nature spirit. So you got two things dealing with guides. Your guides are very clear on what to do. I think that you need to follow the guides and stop following the more opposite of that, which would be kind of like your own control or your own ego's way of like how you think I have to do this, or I can't leave this, or I can't do that, or you got to listen to your gut here, and you got to listen to your guides, and you can't cheapen yourself here. You can't cheapen yourself because then you're cheapening your guides. Basically, you're going to be trading in your guides the more you're cheapening yourself. And I don't know if you want shittier guides. Believe it, that exists. Wow, that's deep shit right there. Oh shit! You even had one fall. Ooh, cheapening your guides. Have you ever thought about that? Neptune in the 4th house in Scorpio. There is definitely hidden emotions here, and they are about desires that are about to be revealed, and you can't put on the facade or show. You might even be dealing with a partner too, who might be there. There's definitely trust, emotional, weird stuff, deep. I'm going to say this too, like bonded emotional situations that are more of a show than putting for the real dough. So it's like a golfer who's putting and actually thinks they can make the putt in and is throwing a lot of money on it and totally keeps missing the putt. And then you just think like, it's a little Happy Gilmore-ish, like you might be able to drive the ball far, but can you really get it in the hole?
Yeah, there's a vulnerability aspect of it as well, that you're kind of not allowing yourself to fully process the emotions, the range of emotions that you need to get to where you need to go. I think that there's somewhat of a limiting aspect is where you're not fully processing maybe this potential relationship that you're in, or maybe even the potential relationship that you're trying to have with yourself. It's in there somewhere. I promise you, it's in there somewhere.
You'll find the hole eventually.
You'll find it, but you got to be open. You got to allow yourself to see everything for what it is, without the limiting views of it, without the limiting, thought process or aspects of love that you're trying to hold back within for some reason, that you're not letting yourself progress forward. If you just continue to say no, or on the other aspect, if you just continue to say yes without the worthiness behind it, you'll just get lost within inside yourself. And like David said, you're gonna, what was it, downplay your guides, have shitty guides, and that's not gonna work out. It's not gonna be beneficial for anybody, in yourself or in the relationship. So I think it is being vulnerable with yourself and vulnerable with your partner, and speak it into, I don't like to say speak it into existence, because it is you as well having to put that energetic life force behind it. But just tap back into that root of yourself, that root of the appreciation that you truly do have and that you truly do deserve.
I just put in the chat, no more bad holes.
No more bad holes.
Because it's a gaping hole, right? It's just like, especially, I feel like this is like, gosh, I don't know why. It's like nothing against the 99-cent store. I know that people go there and everything, but
I like to get bubbles from there.
I know. That's why I'm being very tender about this. But I mean, because I know we're guys, so it's very hard. It's like, okay, so I'm trying to figure out a way. It's like paper towels at the 99-cent store will get things done. But paper towels,
steak from the 99-cent store will not get it done.
They won't. I've never walked into a 99-cent store in my life. So, and that's just because my moon in Taurus would be like, no. But I'm the kind of person where if I see a deal at CVS or at Walgreens for paper towels, I'll still choose the better brand for a little more, because I know I'll be happier in the end than saving $1. And I feel like this is where you're at with relationships. Like, I'll just take the 99-cent.
Right.
And there's nothing worse, because it leaves more on the window, leaves more on the mirror, they break, and you're that person that energetically holds that when you're walking out of the store. So, and cheapening those guides by not listening to them. But a lot of financial stuff in that reading, actually. Aquarius.
But speaking of bubbles.
Ooh. Is that a Sprite?
Always a good time. No, there's bubbles.
If you were to give that to me, I would have thought that was a Sprite and I would have drank it.
Don't do that. Don't be drinking my bubbles.
It looks like a fucking 1 liter Sprite. I would have been like, oh, fuck yeah, Aquarius. Bubbles. I would have, oh yeah, where's this is my new friend. And I stole this. This was actually from Christy Joyce from the UK. She had somebody in the UK make this for my cats. And then, of course, Pixie, the Pisces, got fish. Leo, my cat, got the lion. I jacked this from my own cat.
You gonna sleep with it, or?
No, it's like, I'm actually, I don't know if you watched Friday's
I haven't.
Venus After Dark. We did Venus and Mars After Dark because I was the only guy in there.
I haven't finished it yet.
Oh, well, we got to the very end where it was like, because I have no personal life and I work and I don't have a lover or anything, that I'm going to make puppet shows.
Oh, nice.
But not with this one. But of course, this is, and I named this one. Did you didn't get that far in the show?
No.
Cordell.
You're gonna become a marionette?
Well, no. I mean, I was totally ventriloquist in rap. Like, yeah, Cordell, and that. I mean, pretty crazy. But I'm just saying that. Thank you.
What
Aquarius.
What did you pick?
Aquarius. So I could even play them all out. Like, this is Aquarius life. Like, wow, and then I don't know if I want to deal with it. Let me back the fuck out. And then you don't know where Aquarius goes, and they do this from back behind. They do the little snoops. Believe it or not, Aquarians are snoops like this. And then they send a little signal like, and then they come back, and then they go, okay, now I'll come. Aquarians are not very like, oh, hi, how are you? Boom, 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 boom. You know, they're very like, what's going on? Or when you're with an Aquarius, it's like all good, and then it's like they disappear, like, and you're like, what happened to them? And then, but they're doing this the whole time. See, I can do this all day. Let's see what's going on with Aquarius. 4 of Wands reversed. Wow. Okay, the celebration card of marriage and celebrating in life. You know, maybe you're not feeling that celebration. I know here in California during Thanksgiving, we're not allowed to celebrate. We're not allowed to yell. We're not allowed to sing.
Or play music loud.
Or play music. We're not allowed to play music?
Not allowed to play it loud. That was one of the recommendations.
It's just recommended. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, just recommended.
So maybe you're feeling like there's something you really want to celebrate, or you maybe, I'm going to be honest, maybe you are married, Aquarius, and there's like this feeling of questioning the marriage at this time. I got to be real. I'm a tarot reader. But I also feel like that single Aquarians might just also be at the same time too. Like, is there really a celebration on the end of the corner here? Is there anything to celebrate? Like, am I ever going to find that ultimate? There's definitely a lot of things that we're going to have to uncover on this one here. Well, South Node, life debts. I think that, you know, I feel like that you feel like you're kind of caught up in this challenge of like you not getting what you're wanting. I mean, we're getting a 4 of Wands and we're getting a South Node, which is the illusion. We don't feel like we want to get there, but this also is your own kind of things when you deal with South Node issues. You're dealing with kind of like your crutches in your life. So I would say that we're going to have to get more specific on what that shadow is, but I would say that you're dealing more on these internal areas that need to be dealt with, and you're trying to project into the reality them, and they're not working. There's something not working, or some partner's still not coming the way that you want to. And I think that you don't know how to deal with it. I think that you're trying to hold it, but are you going to keep paying that debt? You pulled the death card. This is definitely, you know, a change needs to be made here, big time change, or an end. You might be still hung up on a past relationship that used to be a celebratory thing, and it's not. Or it's completely missing, and you have to still let that whole idea of something missing go. Let's get that shadow card out. It's the parasite. I don't know. I feel like there's somebody that to you, it feels like it's just like a waste of your time, and it's parasitic, and you're afraid to deal with the death of it. Or maybe you're not afraid, but you're still focused on it though. Knight of Pentacles. So, I mean, I think that this is about you you need to start moving forward and have confidence and find what it is you really want. Maybe that's been the issue. I think that maybe either the partner doesn't know, or you just need to move forward into better things and knowing your value and knowing what things that you need to bring to the table or what others can bring to the table more. It's a long journey. That's what the Knight of Pentacles reminds us of. And it's felt like a long journey. And it kind of feels like this might not be a celebratory moment, but there's definitely some debris. There's debts. There's parasites. There's definitely a change that needs to be made from whatever the situation is going on in your life here. That death card is brought to you by the Hierophant reversed. Definitely need to get out of old traditions. I feel like it's like the same old routine, the same old traditions. You know, and I don't feel also at the same time too that there's like, that you're feeling like anything really is solid right now. I think that if you're even in a relationship or not, I feel like this is just the most unfeeling of solid of life. It feels like it's just like this long journey. Is it ever going to change? And maybe you have to deal with your own parasites, South Node issues, deal with your own crutches. And you might project them onto others as parasites within yourself, but that they're bringing on. But I would say that this is definitely you unsure about what you're doing, especially you're not committed to what you want to change in your life. That's what I would look at. Remember, it's a long journey, but you're only looking for the journeys of the celebrations, but yet I feel like you're not willing to go on a committed journey anywhere, or at least make that offering to there. Your overalls that you got here, you pulled the strength card. So I think that you need to have the strength to be the courage and the truth of who you are. Of course, I don't think that you need to be crazy, authoritarian tyrant like Mary Garcetti, but You got to be somebody who's tamed enough to be honest and give the truth and the truth of what you really want in life. I think that that's the issue, is you're having issues with the parasite within you, is you just keep holding on to the debt that you need to deal with, of you not stepping into your truth, of saying what you want and being clear in what you want, because there's too much of this, you know, something needs to change. And you did pull the fire card, which, I mean, this is awesome. I think that it's passion and it's fire that you want. And if you're not seeing that, you got to say something. You got to do something. You got to make a change about it. You got to move the journey into that position instead of staying in the same place. And I think that you got to unhinge yourself from the traditional road that's holding you from that. Or if you want more fire from somebody, or you want more from them, you have to direct it. I think that you're expecting everybody to kind of show up for the way that you want to. And that's not the way that this works. That you got to be more clear on what you want and kind of not play dicey as I'm rolling the dice. You got Leo, second house, Pluto. This is definitely looking at your self-worth issues about your happiness and your overall appearance of your physicality, of like being hot, being fucking a Leo energy, and that's your opposite sign, and you got Pluto in the second house. And there's definitely some self-worth issues here, or holding on to something that you're not happy about anymore, and that needs to change, or you're too afraid to integrate something that you really want. You're blocking it.
Yeah, I was picking up on that integration, you know, not allowing yourself maybe to take that next step. Maybe you are in something great, but you're still kind of second guessing it a bit. You know, you're second guessing yourself why you're in this, even though all the signs are saying, yes, continue forward for this. There can be sometimes that it's like we just get stuck in this thought process of, no, it's not what I wanted it to look like. And that's never going to necessarily happen, because the universe is always going to add in that its own little flair. You know, it's going to spice it up a bit. So I think that there is that capability of being an extremely productive relationship. I think there is that potential of having some great happiness, but it's a second guessing of yourself. Maybe you're not tapping into your own worthiness. Maybe you think you're having this person on a pedestal, and you can't be doing that either. You know, there's nothing comparing, because they're going to be picking you up. They're there for a reason as well, so there's no reason to be the second guessing. And just so it's the same, you know if it's worthy or not, and maybe you're having the partner that's second guessing it, but whatever it is, there is that beauty, there is that potential of greatness, I think, but you have to tap into it, and you have to actually be willing to take those steps and get over the fear of failure, or be having the fear of actually the divine love, because that can be terrifying as well, having just like that most beautiful love, the most beautiful appreciation. That can be scary as well, because then we have that thought that we might lose it someday. But you're gonna have to get over that fear. You're gonna have to get over it within inside yourself, and just take those necessary steps to find that greatness.
It reminds me, I was checking the crypto, because crypto world's going crazy right now, but it's like you can invest in maybe, let's say, in a stock or a coin, and then it's not moving, and everything else is moving in life. And you're the one who chooses to hold on to that coin. Like you can, in crypto, you could be like, you know what? Bitcoin's moving right now. I have a bunch of Litecoin that's moving too, but I don't feel like, God, everybody's like, this is over here. Like, I think that there's this part in life for Aquarians right now where it's like, it's okay to like transform and move things into different places and let go of the energy of still holding on to this kind of, I don't want to call it a shitty moment, but it's like, it's a long journey, yes, but like the journey doesn't have to always be shitty, especially for passion and the desires, and you have to have the strength to make a move. And a lot of people, I know in crypto world, a lot of people have been asking me if I'm going to do crypto horoscopes, but I'm never going to do them just because, well, I won't say never, but I just, you know what? I just don't want to put people's financial lives, and tell them what to do based off astrology. That's just not who I am. But I can tell you, like, a lot of people have been hitting me up like, fuck, I should have listened to you last couple months. You know what I mean? Because, like, it's insane right now. And I just feel like, there's missed opportunities is what I'm feeling, and what I got from you and what I got from this, of like holding away from true desire by not being bold enough to own it, if that makes sense.
Be a bubble.
Be a what? A bubble?
Be a bubble.
But that's so Aquarian again. Like, let me bubble up and do the blah, 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 blah,
Be the bubble. Be the bubble and blow in the wind.
You gotta get in and be like, I want that. Like, it's like, here's the fucking night right here. Fucking, oh shit. It's like, oh, look at this. Aquarius likes it. It's gonna be like, hey, I really do like you. I want more. You don't show up enough. It's like, really, I'm always here. Oh, okay. They make a hot couple. But the bubble, oh, I'm gonna fly away. Come to me.
But it always comes
Or
back
it's like you're in a
to
relationship
Earth.
and you're like, I don't really like this, but I'm just going to stay here. Oh, I don't like he has a sword. I'm against swords. I'm against the SRA.
The bubble is a representation of true bliss.
The sword and rifle association. I don't like them. So I don't want to be with them.
The NSA.
I'm calling it the SRA. well, actually, it'd be the SSA, the Sword and Shield Association.
Oh.
I don't like that. But I got to do something. I got to make a bold strength move and be like, hey, I don't like your sword. I don't want to really do this. I want more passion instead of you always looking at your sword. It's not even that big anyways.
But it's the only sword I got.
Mr. Rogers already had a job that I'm not here to try and take. All right. I don't know. We got, Leos. Woo! Yeah. Give me some Leo. Let me get some Leo energy up in here. We don't need no Scorpio party because we are the fucking party. Ow! See what's going on with Leos this week. Two of Wands. All right. Look at that. I like the two of Wands. Definitely the new world of love in your hands. These two dudes are definitely getting down. It's funny that there's a sailor in there. I was a sailor, but definitely I don't swing that way. But this is definitely a good card. There's a world that you're starting to see, Leo, of the love that you want to have in your life, and you can have it in your hands. It's like, I feel like Leos are getting more focused on what they want now, and even maybe focusing on somebody that they want. That's a good thing. Wow, the challenge is the Leo card. Interesting. Maybe you're timid because of this. That you don't have that typical flair. You're afraid of how much love you should give, how much you should give. But let me tell you, Leo, the only way that love works as a Leo is you got to fully be your Leo self, and you just got to give it your all and give it all your will and fuck it. So if your relationship, you've focused and you found what it is, don't be timid. Or if you're single and you find somebody you like, it's like, what else you got to lose? At least you were yourself. You shined your brightest. If they don't like the light that shines, and they don't like the light that shines. So that's a challenge. You got to get over the insecurities once you find something. That's a secret that Leos don't reveal. Once we like somebody and we focus on somebody, we get nervous. We don't know, like, how should we push harder? Should we not push harder? Should we, like, we don't want to, like, fuck it up. And that becomes us. The Aquarius is our 7th house, right? We start, like, kind of not knowing how to deal with it all. The overall card that we got here is the 3 of Pentacles upright. So this is about creating something overall with a partner or with somebody that you're dating, and finding that there's beautiful things that can be created from all angles. Of course, this card is the 3 of Pentacles. It always has 3 people. So it's almost like, maybe there's something else involved, or maybe there's a child involved, or maybe there's another lover involved, or maybe that other person's still seeing another person, or maybe you're having to deal with, like, letting go of somebody in order to move something. It could be a lot of those things, but the end result of this card is building something together with somebody and to create something. And that has to be a focus. If it's just love for love, but without feeling like, oh, we can go do creative things together or go build cool things together, there's areas in your life that need to be understood between both parties right now, or anybody that you're dating, that you feel like, yeah, they want to go grow and build things together. If it's just like love for love, I mean, that's great, but love with also building something is very important. The shadow to that thing is, look at that, the peaceful among thorns. So yeah, this is you too timid to really, it's like you're trying to play it really safe. And I would say that as a Leo, sometimes I guess that works because we can be really intense, but I got a feeling that this situation, it's quite the opposite. They like the fire. They like who you are, or your partner likes who you are, and they feel like, why aren't you being the way you used to be? It's like, I don't know. Maybe it felt like, who knows, whatever it is. But, like, you can't stay in kind of this kind of, like, hindered self. It's on yourself. So stop worrying and stop protecting yourself, or stop, loving things that make you have to feel like you're stuck in a place. Like, maybe you feel trapped and you're afraid to really express your will and your true happiness and your true love, and you're afraid because it's not working. You're not building anything, and you don't feel like that's the world you want. Leos can sometimes stay in those situations that suck. Wow, the party, the 3 of Cups came out with that 2 of Wands. I mean, this is, I mean, woo, fuck yeah, cha-ching. Leos, definitely, you know, a little Alice in Wonderland here, but this is like, this is the exciting party that you've been looking for the world you want, and to offer all of the great feelings that you can have in your life in love. So this is definitely a very serious situation that's very positive coming this week for you, and turning the tides. I feel like this is a turning the tides for you, and something to truly celebrate about and to have fun with. And it's about fun and laughter and having a good time. And that's the world that you want anyway. But don't hinder that by putting a party poop on yourself by just being yourself, which would mean you not being yourself would be the party poop. That 3 of Pentacles popped up because of the King of Cups in reversed. I feel like that you don't feel like you emotionally feel that overall right now in your life, and what you're changing is because you're not feeling the strong emotional connection in your life, and it's having a bond that's creating something, and the love and the fun and excitement that feels like it can fill everything up. Because being a king and building a kingdom with a queen, or a queen building a kingdom with a king, like there's something about having to have all the aspects of life, having a purpose and having love and having all of that at once. So it's like you want a lot, Leo, and that's important. Don't feel like you can't have that. You might feel like that you haven't been able to have that power, the emotional security that you want through love, because until you get to that place where you find somebody willing to work together and build something beautiful with, and that's when it fills up. And I think that's more of a reminder card, but it's also the theme of the week. If it's not something that you can go build something together with, or you don't see them being able to work side by side with you and you being able to work side by side with them, then it ain't going to work. But if it is, man, superpower. Super awesome. The overall cards that we got here, we did get that Justice card upright. So this is that justice that's aligning in like pure harmony, right? So it's like that harmony that's coming together. And this is the scales of Libra is definitely a powerful relationship card of finding that equal balance and finding like somebody that's on your same playing field here in all areas, which is very hard for Leo. It's fine. And the last overall that we got here is the boundaries card. So you might be dealing with some sort of boundaries. Maybe that boundary line is you're afraid to jump the fence of your truth here and who you are because you feel like that'd be rubbing it too hard, or you feel like somebody else has kind of put some blocks on you and maybe you don't know what to do, or they have boundaries or they have walls up. And this is about, you don't need to, push it too hard, but I think that it's like finding that equilibrium and finding it and understanding that you probably both have boundaries or have some walls up in some sort of place. But I would say that this is definitely, not a time to hold yourself and bound yourself and block yourself from the justice and from the just place you want to be. There's too much of a party going on here for boundaries. That's going to be like an overall theme, is like, how far do you and that partner go? How far do you and your relationship, if you're in one, take things, and that stays in alignment. And all that alignment is what feels right within two people. I feel like that's the whole irony of that whole situation there. The astro dice we got Aries here with the South Node. Wow, and that's in the 6th. This is saying focus on Libra 12th house. Focus on the dream of love instead of the specific way that things should look and the way that little things should look, and trying to identify these small little things, like go grand, go visionary, go into the dream of Libra and love. I mean, that's where it's saying to go. It's definitely not saying to focus on the individual and all the little things or schedules and timing and making it like machine, when this is about dream. Machine, not dream.
Machine, not dream.
I'm going to go pee, by the way.
Not robotics, And,
so you can talk to Leos. You're Leo rising. Well, how are you feeling anyway? I want the audience to know, and I'll listen to you while I go pee.
Listen up. Take some notes. But you can't be afraid to ruffle some feathers, though, within life. You know, I mean, you can't be afraid to. That starts from within. You know, knowing what it is that you want to get out of this relationship. And I actually went through this earlier this year. You know, I was with an individual that I knew I necessarily couldn't be myself. You know, and I felt like I was putting limitations on who I was. I felt like I was putting, and that, like being able to be authentically weird. We'll leave it at that. You know, and it's not on, and that's no fault, and that's no the fault of the individuals, because they're living their own life as well. But you have to be able to acknowledge that and say, okay, am I going to be able to adapt my life to kind of fit what this person needs out of me? And that answer was no for me. That answer was no, because there's always going to be some types, you know, that we need to maybe curb because it's not truly beneficial for us, and other people can acknowledge that, and other people can kind of show us that maybe we're not having like the healthiest lifestyles or the healthiest mindset, and they can kind of help us change that a bit. But that core you, that core energetic force that lives inside of all of us, that's something that can't be stifled. That's something that we can't necessarily bend on or even break and cut out completely, because then that's just losing a major part of ourselves. So I think that it's really important that we take these steps to know who we are, you know, through all this times with ourselves that we've had over these last months or so. It could be almost like a depressive state, because maybe we realize that we do need the outside world more than we thought that we did. But it's knowing that we always have our own back if we do. You know, sometimes we kind of bail on ourselves. Sometimes we kind of put up this wall, you know, this egoic, I'm not good enough, or I don't know what it is that I'm doing, when that's bullshit, to speak frankly. Because you do, even though if sometimes you might feel lost, you're still in there. You're still kind of paving the way of these steps that you want to take. And so you're never fully lost. You're never without yourself always. And you need to have your back. You need to not allow yourself to be the bamboo that bends, it does not break, you know? Sway in the wind a little bit, but you still have your strength. You still know who you are, and you're still standing on your own 2 feet. And you have to be able to acknowledge that. And so when these partners come into our lives, and they can change it for greatness, you know, and they could be, everything could be fine, but except there's still those little aspects of ours that we're starting to lose, and we're starting to downplay, and we're starting to kind of put a muzzle on what it is, on our expression. And that's just going to end in a downfall. It's going to be a downward spiral, because there is that part of you that you're trying to put away, you know, and that could be your friends realize that, you realize that. Sometimes your partner isn't going to realize that, or sometimes your partner is going to say, okay, but that's fine with me. And you know that that's a lie too, as well, because there's just certain boundaries that we all have within our lives that we're just not okay with overstepping it. And that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine to have your own set of boundaries, to acknowledge that in your partner and say, okay, this is a deal breaker for me. And so it's just time to stop, you know? And that's going to be life. That's going to be life fully, and that's going to be the progression that we're going through in these next steps through the remainder of the year and going into 2021 and forward through. You know, there's going to be progressions, and there's going to be areas that we're saying, okay, that's the deal breaker for me. But we have to acknowledge it. We have to take the steps to really know it within inside of ourselves. First, we have to take the steps to know who we are, what these progressions are that we're trying to get out of life. Where is it that we want to go? Who is it that I want to be? Who's this partner that I want to be there next to me? What are they capable of bringing into my life? What is it, the happiness that they're bringing inside themselves? Because there's nothing worse than trying to fix someone or trying to uplift someone, because that's not going to be beneficial to either one of you. It's great to kind of insert that spark of energy into someone, or vice versa, allowing that spark of energy to kind of kick ourselves in the ass a bit and get it moving again. But once that's gone, you have to be able to generate your own force. You have to be able to generate your own energy to continue the progression forward with inside that relationship. Right? Wouldn't you say, Davey boy? 100%. 100%. You know, and maybe feeling that you can be your weird self. Yeah. Yeah.
That weird self came back.
Oh, it was never gone. It was
never gone.
It was never gone.
But it was in full frontal.
Yeah, always full frontal. That's how I roll.
Full frontal.
whatever it is that makes you happy. See, you know,
I was just peeing and I was like so stoked. There was such a good Leo reading. I'm like, fuck yeah, motherfucker. And throw some bubbles for me. And Leo rising's out there.
These are some freaking bomb ass bubbles.
You're Leo rising, you got Leo moon. Fucking throw some bubbles. The Leos just got the reading that they've been needing for a long time. Man, all the Sag energy is the 5th house of the left for all Leo and Leo rising. Fucking fuck yeah.
Bubbles.
Shit.
Tiny bubbles. I got bubble soap all over me.
What do you
now.
think, homeboy? Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. All right. Who's next? Oh, people better share if they want that. They want that 1K collective. Pretty much America shut down, and I think it's hilarious that everybody's like, I gotta go to bed. I'm like, go do what? Libra. I know not all the states are. Libras. Boom. It's Libra time. Are the Libras going to get a good reading this week?
I got soap all over myself.
Big time. All right, let's see. Libra, your first card is Game Over, 5 of Swords. I've been telling Libras there is something that you just keep trying so hard to have, and it's game over. Play. Look at it, it says, play again? No. You know, I'm going to say this. I think you're trying really hard for something to work. You might be in a relationship here. You keep trying, or you're single and you keep trying on a certain person, or you keep doing the same thing that you keep trying so hard on. It's like game over. I don't know how better else to put that card. I think that you're trying way too hard in something, and it's like everybody knows, and you're not fucking willing to like look at it yourself. And I think maybe a reading like this will help you do that. Or maybe you will find that this week. Wow, your trouble is second house. You're holding on to something that is game over. I just don't know why you keep doing this. I look at it in the astrology, all the 4th house energy in Capricorn, Mars still in your 7th house, done a retrograde. And on top of that, this week we're seeing Venus oppose Uranus. And this is happening in your 2nd and 8th house. You have desires, you have wants, you have needs, but it's like, I think that you're sitting in some sort of weird energy here of still like, you can't let go of somebody. And you feel like you have to like, you can't lose this game. I already got involved. I already have owned the position. The challenge is like, you can, what is it when somebody bails out of a wedding? A runner? You can be a runner. The only sign that gets away with being the runner the easiest is Libra. But it's almost like I think that you feel like, you know, you're trapped and you have to do something. You don't. You got the Hangman. You are trapped. I am calling Libras out now. I've got it now. Triply showing. Triply. Game over. Your issue is second house. Maybe your issue is you're sitting in it because of money. Doesn't be real. Or you're too afraid of, you know, what would happen if you got rid of this commodity, which would not even be a commodity. It's like trying to hold bonds right now. And then you pull the Hangman as your overall. It's like you're just feeling stuck. You don't know what to do. Ooh, I love this card. This is your shadow. Until you change today, tomorrow won't change. So every day that you go to bed and go, I want it to change, you don't change it, tomorrow's not going to change until you change it today. And that's your issue, is you keep owning the same thing today and it's going to happen tomorrow. So this week, are you going to finally stop the game and turn it off? And that's going to mean that tomorrow the game's not on? You're going to keep holding yourself and hanged? And I think that you're getting a lot of insight finally, but I think that you've been hung for a long time and you keep getting the insight. You're the one who has the power to unhang yourself in this situation. 2 of Wands. The world that you really want to have is a game over, but also it means that when maybe you do put the game over, then you finally get the world that you want. That is a dichotomy in a Libra world if I have never seen one. You want the game over to never be game over, yet you do want it to be over, and that would give you the world. Libra. 10 of Swords reversed. Wow. Not ready to stop the change that needs to be had, doing the same thing over and over and over again of staying hung, but you're not willing to cut that cord. You know, it's like, I think that you know this too, or you might be internally knowing this, but I think that you're not willing to do it on the outside for some reason. And I'm going to use the astrology and what I said for 3 years of Saturn being in Capricorn. I get it. You're trying to be the responsible Libra now, but like, you learned your lessons of that you can do it. Doesn't mean that you need to stay in the position if it's the wrong person. I feel like Libras that are single are trying too hard and they're not getting the results they want, and there's some self-worth issues there and you feel stuck. It's time to cut that cord. The reason why your overalls are, what'd you get here? You pulled the Page of Air, so you pulled the Page of Swords. I mean, this is you having to be very clear and direct, and it's like it's Archangel Gabriel, you know? I mean, it's like, Michael. Like, this is a time for you to cut cords and to be truthful and to be stimulating again and excited, Libra. What did you get here? Wow, it's time to shift. That polarity weird thing I was talking about right there, that Libra, like weird, like the only way is shifting a reality, even though that reality looks like, oh no, it comes to a close, it opens up a new one. It's time, Libra. I know that you think I'm crazy, but I don't think you want to know what Saturn and Jupiter in your 5th house is going to be like in conjunction. That's about love. So that'll either be the ultimate prize or 20 years of learning, what the fuck did I do? I didn't follow my true heart. I did what everybody else said I should be doing, or I was too worried to live in my heart because of everybody else. That's a Libra issue. You pulled Pluto in the 2nd house of Virgo. This is time to stop holding on to the reality that you don't want. This is done being in the mundane. This is done doing the same old routines in relationship situations or with an ex or in the same patterns of relationships. That's mundane, boring, and it's not bringing you the life and it's not bringing you the edge and the passion that you need or the attractiveness. And you have weird little gripes on that too. Like
we all know what it's like. Just bubbles knocked my microphone, but we all know what it's like to kind of not allow those cords to end, or not allow ourselves to kind of get over situations, because we like that. You know, it's that knowing feeling. It's that kind of that comfort. Even though it might be painful, there's still that comfort in knowing that you still have that attachment with an individual. And so that's kind of just tugging you back down the line, or holding you stagnant, which is the same as regressing back. You know, if you're not allowing yourself to progress forward. So I think that it is kind of looking at yourself and saying, okay, where am I limiting my emotional growth? Where am I limiting the relationships that are keeping me kind of stagnant in our life, instead of fully allowing that progression to take place, instead of fully allowing, saying, all right, I'm not fucking with you anymore. You're done. It's fine to have that feeling. When it's done, and we know that. But why is it that we allow ourselves to just kind of stay in those places? Is it because we feel like maybe there's hope to kind of bring them back into our life? There's hope that they'll have this aha moment and say, oh, I'm sorry for doing you wrong. It doesn't matter. That's not going to happen. It falls on you to allow that growth to happen. It falls on you to step forward and say, okay, I'm done with it. This energetic connection is over. It does not benefit me anymore.
What about kicking someone out of a window?
I mean, if it's
that's just said in the chat, and I just said,
like on the
wake up.
first story window, yeah, I'd say definitely kick their ass out the first story window. If it's maybe the second story window, I wouldn't recommend it.
Wow.
You might catch yourself a case.
I'm reading the chat. I was like, wow.
But give them the boot, regardless. Give them the boot out of your life. Say,
game over.
Not up in here. Not up in here.
Not up in here.
Not
game
up in here.
Over.
Not
Walk
up in
out
here.
with your PlayStation 1.
Yeah. Kick rocks, motherfucker.
Like, you know, you can leave here with your Sega.
Yeah.
Sonic was cool, but you can play Sonic on all the other fucking ones.
Yeah, we don't need that easy bake oven anymore. Get yourself
Stop blowing on the game. Oh, black screen. Let me blow again.
Air fryer up in this bitch. Get that crispy crispness.
You know what? I feel like a Popeye's chicken sandwich now that you said that, because when we went to the festival, we had to stop to get gas, and Craig went, and we'd never had one before, and I don't remember the last time I was at Popeye's, and this shit was bomb. And I feel like a Popeye's chicken sandwich.
Shit was the bomb. Way better than Chick-fil-A.
Taurus. I was about to yell. I'm like, and Popeye's chicken sandwiches. I don't do that. Although I did have her drop off all my laundry today.
I'm sure she's watching, unless she just stopped watching right before her sign popped up.
I don't know if she does that. Maybe she watches later. Like, I don't want to watch now.
She was watching because she was texting me. She also said that there's the 409 cleaner was in the background. She's like, you should move the cleaning bottle over there. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks, Ann.
Where?
I already moved it. I didn't know it was behind me.
Oh, I'm like looking at the sword like.
That was Ann's idea. Put that sword up there. Good job, Ann.
No, I didn't get weird, but I just was like, when I went on Venus After Dark on Friday night, and I went over in my Leo King corner that's over there, and I was like, why is the sword not up? And she was like, well, we just did her story, and we didn't feel like having a sword. I'm like, oh, that makes sense,
That does make sense.
But with me,
that last her story was great.
That was a great her story. Yeah,
they've all been really
Would have been a lot better with a sword in it, though. But I'm cool with it. All right, Taurus, let's see what's going on. I know you've been patiently waiting, mooing over there. So I hear the moos. Hope you released on that moo. You got the Page of Pentacles up, right? It's a good card. This is also, good news coming your way. Definitely of something that wants to be built, something, or knowing your worth too. Maybe you speaking your truth, you finding that throat chakra in there, and also, I think that's what you need to do. I think that's what this card's saying. Like, you need to speak your truth of your foundation of what you want in your life, but you need to be very clear. Maybe you think that people don't show up because you don't know what the fuck's going on, but it's like, I think that you have to also at the same time realize people, like, they see value when you show up more, Taurus, right? Like, when you show up and what you want. And I think that when it comes to love, right? Like, and it's not about being demanding, Page of Pentacles. It's about offerings. Like, present your offerings. Present your offerings of how the relationship could be better if you're in a relationship. If you're single, present an offering of what you're looking for in somebody that you're dating or online or whatever. But present the offering out there in an awesome, beautiful way, and you'll start to be able to build something instead of it just being like all in thin air. Aries is your challenge card. So if you're dealing with an Aries, definitely I would think twice. But at the same token, I would say that Taurus, the issue here is your demands and how you demand it. Your needs, your wants, and how you put it out there. So this is definitely about, and that was what I was feeling, and it's weird that we pulled this Aries card here. We're definitely in a position now in this week for you that present offerings, but I think the challenge is how you either A, block that, like you don't do it enough, or you push it too hard, and it's too blatant, and it's too blunt, and it's too in the face, like too, especially when I look at that Page of Pentacles and how she's got her back turned, she's got a pentagram on the back of her shit, and she's got her cell phone in the back pocket. What else has she got in the back pocket there? I don't even know. But it's like, but see how she's got her arms open. She's willing to embrace, not demand. Demanding won't work. You pulled the Empress. Wow. So this is actually one of your cards because it's a Venus card, and this is awesome. So I think overall it's like, you can have all the abundance and the beautiful love situations that you want in life and how you want your life to look like, and have that nurturing effect and create those things. But I think the challenge is like identifying exactly what it is. If you want to be married, say you want to be married. If you want to have a kid, you want to have a kid. If you don't want to do this, you don't want to do this. But it's like not in a demanding way, in a presentation of like, let's make this offering happen. This is definitely a week where that crossroads here, especially owning your value and worth with this lunar eclipse in your second house coming up here by Sunday night, Monday morning. Your shadow here is the triumph of lies with this Aries. The way I look at this is like you kind of like lying to yourself. You know what you want, but you're afraid to kind of like do it. You're like a false king, right? With the crown. Like it's like you don't know how to like really own these offerings or really create that beautiful empress that's going to be the garden full of, you have everything. You have everything that you ever want. Stop telling yourself lies. Stop focusing on if you think somebody's lying. I think that you need to focus on like where are you not showing up to the presentation of what you really want in your life and the offerings that you want. And if people make you offerings, then you got to show up at the same way too. Why did you get this Page of Pentacles? Well, you pulled the Fool card here. I think that that's what I'm saying is that, you know what? Present the offerings not from a foolish state. That would be the Fool reverse, like a dumbass. But from an easygoing, like, who knows, the universe is crazy, but like, I'm going with this offering and I want to go feel the life, feel the universe as it is. The Fool card is the first card in the deck. It is the original just journey of being a human being and enjoying life and having fun and having that we don't understand how everything's going to happen in life. But at least, fuck it. I'm willing to see the offering and I'm willing to take that. I don't want to call it a risk, but I'm willing to take that true nature and feel that true nature. The reason why you pulled that Empress card here is you did pull the Magician reversed. So there it is. I would say that you know that you have all this abundant energy or you focus on a partner or your relationship has it, but it just feels like that you don't know how to bring that magic together. And I think a lot of that magic is about understanding how, not so much how the universe works fully, but understanding that you are the conduit between the universe and this earth. So the physical and the spiritual plane. And I think that you have to bring both together. So it's like maybe you have ideas in your soul, but that you're having trouble to bring it to the physical form, especially with the Empress card there. So I would say that there's a lot about like you trying to bring the truth of what you really want integrated into reality. And I think that it's about learning that you have issues taking action and the way to take action and how you do that action. And then, you know, triumph of lies is like you can't triumph if you're not going to step in. It doesn't mean that you're a liar. It just means that it's like you're not stepping fully into the embodiment of what you want to be or have. You did pull the Six of Pentacles here. So this is about an equal balance, of course. And of course, that it's not a charity case or not taking on a charity case, but it's an equal way of doing things. But also for you kind of stepping into the place of, you know, do you even have the ability to show up? Or are there things that you don't have yet? Like this is bridging the dead and the living together. Like that's what's kind of crazy. There's a dead part of yourself that has to meet with the life part of yourself here. Oh, that's the wrong deck. Yeah, there we go. Fucking, and you pulled the psychic energy. So, I mean, but this is also another duality. So there's a lot about dualities, about crossing into this new duality, and into a singular place that's combining the dualities of the dreams and the physical that you want. I would say that your psychic awareness knows exactly what you want, but bringing that to ground and bringing that to the reality is what this is about, and owning and presenting the offer and owning that offer and embodying that offer and bringing that magic and trusting your psychic abilities and trusting what spirit is telling you. But if you're not showing up because psychically you feel like it's not going to work, then that's not going to work. But I think that you need to check yourself and make sure deep inside of yourself, you know, psychically, what is it that you need to do to contribute the way that you want to contribute and have somebody else contribute to, and understand that how it's going to work for both parties. You did pull North Node in Sag in the 7th house. I mean, this is a great alignment here. This is definitely about you believing in relationships again and being willing to open up the doors and go on the journey of relationship situations and opening up those doors. I think that if you get stuck in trying to be in your head, especially, you know, about just like what you need and what you want, all that stuff, it's not going to work out. Like you're going to need to right now focus on how do you open up the doors and also understand the other person and what they need, and how understand how somebody else that you want to partner with or your partner and how they operate, and go back to that. If you're so focused on your own needs and your own wants and your own way, you're not trying to see the opposite side or look on the other side of the fence and understand how the other person operates too. If you understand how somebody operates, it's a lot easier to get what you want out of people. That's just truth.
Yeah, it's not about, you know, stopping your momentum, you know, kind of second guessing yourself. It kind of, the thought of, you know, when we're trying to make it through a yellow light, and at the last second, you know, we kind of tap the brakes or we let off because we second guess ourselves, and then we try to hit it again, But by then that momentum has stopped and now it's red and we get pulled over and we get a ticket. You know, and we should have just followed that gut instinct. We should have just continued to let ourselves be carried through that yellow light, be carried through that life in this relationship and not questioning. But it's actually the knowing of yourself. That's where it's going to come down to. That's where it's going to be able to shed a little light within inside yourself and within this relationship and what it is that you want. But if you're just continuing to second guess yourself always and stopping that momentum of growth, you know, then it's never going to progress fully. It's never going to mature into the way that it should be because there's all these roadblocks going up. There's all these what ifs swirling around the foundation of it, and that's going to be unstable. It's going to knock someone's knees off, or, you know, if you're on a little crutch situation and you slip on some bubble soap that's on the ground now and you fall forward when you should have just known that the bubbles were there and you should have existed with the bubbles. Or be the bubble. Or don't be the bubble. But whatever it is,
Tauruses are mad I didn't
something.
give them a puppet show.
Well, you can get a puppet show right now.
Well, I think that you said a lot of good things, though. I think that this is a time for Tauruses. If you're going to show up and be like, look, I'm going to be this. Woo! But you're showing up like this. Oh, hi, I'm trying. Do you think the other person, like, if you're going to try and understand the knight here, and you know the knight's got quest to do, and you're like, hey, fuck the quest, let me go do this. It's like, when's your time off the quest? So we can hang out instead of always, like, doing this when you know that he's all, you know, ready to go and he's strong and confident and you're always on the floor like this, like, ah! He's not going to want to always go save you. That's my puppet show for Taurus. Now, I'm not giving puppet shows to anybody else. I'm not a puppet master yet, and I'm not here to be your puppeteer, but I'm down. I mean, I felt, you know, I think the other signs will be able to live without the puppet show. We got Scorpios. It's time for you know what, but I don't know. We'll see if Scorpios get a puppet show or not. What time is it? What time is it?
Oh. It's party time, baby. AKA, ain't no party like Scorpio party, baby! Bubble bath, bubble bath. That was all one breath right there, too. You know, I've been doing a little bit of breath work so I can really get that party started.
Wow. I'm doing breath work over here, too.
There's never any bubble saga. Baby!
I added some bubble vape in the air. It's not
I had
bubbles.
some bubble in my mouth right there. A little soapy tongue. It'll wash my mouth out. I'm a dirty boy.
Fuck.
Dirty boy.
Go find somebody to wash it out for you. You know?
Lap it up, baby.
Like, I don't know if you saw, like, on Waze, but, like, after 10 p.m. in California now, it's like, you know that you are leaving past curfew.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Oh, one of the bubbles is still
And it's
flying
just
around
like,
right now.
well, all the sheriffs say not to.
Yeah, Ann said sorry. Said I'm not getting Popeyes. You know, I'm not allowed to. So she is watching.
And
she is watching.
I don't even think Popeyes is open right now. I want a Popeyes chicken sandwich. All right, let's see what's going on for the Scorpios. Giving them their little Scorpio party. I know you guys are like, it's a Scorpio party, baby. Like, I get it, okay.
Baby!
All right.
Bubble
bath.
bath.
I'm getting in the gear here. Let me give you that Scorpio party you guys all want so bad. Okay, let's see if you guys can
We
live
are
that
the party.
Scorpio
We don't
party
want
in
it. We
love.
just live it, baby.
Let's see if you guys will do that. Let's see if you guys will actually show up for the party. Oh!
If we don't want
Nothing
to.
worse than a promoter who doesn't
we
show
don't.
up at their own party.
Well, yeah, that ain't no Scorpio.
Oh, no, do a party like a Scorpio party, baby! I don't know where I'm at. Fucking, where's the Scorpios at? I don't know. Like, where are they at? They're like fucking in the corner, fucking.
We're out there laughing at the puppet shows, what we're doing.
Hey, don't make fun of me. I'm playing with puppets. Bye, bitch. 5 of Cups. Ooh. you got to say bye to somebody. There's definitely some lingering sorrow here of somebody. You want to move on to something great, but I feel like it's like there's a little bit of residual bubble in the mouth. Got to clean it out.
Little soapy
Suds, little soap suds.
Yep.
Little, you know, I just cleaned the RV from the trip. You know, there's like some dust still on things. It's like nicotine on the window, you know. You gotta clean that shit off. And I think that you gotta not only just say bye bitch inside. I got a feeling that Scorpios, if you guys are gonna throw a party for your love life, you gotta be willing to say bye bitch literally. Like, hey, bye bitch, I'm done. You gotta have that like closure. I'm not saying that you need to be a dick or a bitch about it, but you know, you can do it in Marilyn's way, like, bye. And she's smoking is she smoking a cig? She should be smoking a cig. The challenge here we got is 12th house escape. There it is, not showing up to the party or escaping too much with somebody. Be careful. 12th house, get lost. But you could also be lost in this old kind of, you know, I don't want to call it suffering, but this old kind of feeling that, you know, something emotionally has not gone the right way and there's still you got to clear the past. You got to clear the past. You can't escape clearing the past. You got to just say, I'm done with this past. I'm not going to keep, and you know, Scorpios are the ones that they keep checking on people. They'll they'll make new accounts and like check on people's stories. You know, there's this girl, I think we showed her on one of the shows. She like tells people how to get over their ex in a really good way. And she says, like, I couldn't believe this. It blew my mind. When people get over their exes, there's some people that are the ex that got broke up on or whatever, or even they broke up with somebody and they still do it. They check their Venmos to see who they're paying. They check if they still have Netflixes together, what videos they're watching. I was like, this shit never ran through my head. I get the whole Facebook or Instagram thing. But when she started naming off all that shit, I'm like, are chicks that crazy? Are dudes that crazy? Like, I never even thought of that. Like, you're going to go to somebody's Venmo and see who they're paying? Or go to go to their shared Netflix and see what movies they're watching to try and understand their mood?
Weird.
That's what I'm saying, is there's some weird shit that Scorpio's got to clear here. Or Scorpios are dealing with somebody who hasn't left somebody fully yet. Six of Swords, overall, not wanting to move fully over to the other side of the bridge. Not willing to go all the way over. You know, I like this card because it's like, okay, we're leaving zombie waters. We're going to the island away from the zombies. And no, maybe you like the sadistic quality of having a little bit of that weird, tainted love. This is like people who still are trying to fuck or still play around or still talk to the ex now turned booty call. Somebody that's in between. It's an escape that actually isn't an escape. You actually escape so fast once you've done the escape. You're like, get me the fuck out of here. You're like, it wasn't worth it. Is this you? Ooh. Is this really you playing that role of the past? No. I would say that this is you realizing that you are not the past anymore. You are not somebody who has to escape by escaping the forward movement of great things in your life by going backwards. That's not who you are. You're not the past. You are who you are now. You pulled the Page of Wands reversed with this bye bitch. So I feel like you don't want to, this is the issue. You're too afraid to be cold-hearted and be like, yeah, I wasn't emotionally that involved and I'm not emotionally into it and I'm over it. And that Page of Wands reversed is like, I don't want to deliver a message unless it's positive. Well, I'm here to tell you, like, you're not going to get any positive messages into your life that you really want fully because you're too afraid to actually do the positive thing, give the positive message that, okay, you're over something, and be clear. I think that it's like you're sugarcoating things to kind of keep things on ice. Scorpios are weird like that. They like to keep dead bodies, which is just relationships that didn't work out, like in the morgue, but like keep them somewhat alive. And this is about not keeping certain things alive anymore. Like, just to be completely, like, done. You pulled the Queen of Wands reversed. So you got the Page of Wands reversed, Queen of Wands reversed with the Six of Swords. So you don't feel like you're really as in the emotional power and the feminine, beautiful, loving, you know, power to really have that understanding and that pure essence of love when you're not willing to move on fully or keep things in contact. I dare every Scorpio that still talks to an ex a 30-day wipeout. Unfollow, undo everything, and just cut it off for 30 days and see what happens. That's moving to the other side to get the Queen of Wands, to get your excitement, love, and to not feel like there's something still missing, because that's not who you are. Your overalls that you pulled here is, you did pull the Seven of Pentacles, which is about investing in something and getting a return. So if you're investing in something that you already know the return's not going to be there, why the fuck would you keep doing that? Trust me, we've all done it. But when we all find out that, yeah, it's not worth investing in. And your overall on this side is water. It's an emotional situation. But it's about cleaning the emotions that get the emotional investment that you want instead of, I don't know, getting drips of water when you could be getting oceans of love. That was from Hauser. I had to give a little shout out to Hauser there in the Oceans of Love. 10th house, Scorpio, Saturn. Okay, it's time to take responsibilities about boundaries in your life and ending things and putting death to things. That I was born with Saturn in Scorpio. I know all about it. It's about all in or all out, and it's all about learning boundaries. And with the 10th house here, it's a responsibility now. And it also, 10th house has to do with career and job and all that stuff. It's almost like, you know what? It's saying like only invest in things that are going to take you really forward into a long-lasting, awesome situation, opposed to these like temporary situations. Like don't be playing with temporary situations. Be playing with fuck yeah, long-term. Let me put the boundaries up so I don't let these temporary situations in, so you can have the energy to go the distance. This is all about going the distance with somebody opposed to just temporary situations. No return on your investment. That's shitty to go through those relationships. And I think that though, I'll put one more card as like your overall for just future love and all that stuff, because this tended to be focused a lot on the past. And you pulled the 10 of Pentacles, which is finding the ultimate home and the ultimate prosperity and the ultimate life that you actually wanted to have. So that's what's on the horizon by doing the cutoff. But you're still, you got some, maybe you still got some of their stuff. Maybe you still got like a picture of them like on somewhere. Maybe you still take their calls. Maybe it's like, well, I'm on quarantine and like, I just want to have that option there on ice. No. Not worth it.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it one bit, because the longer that we hold on, the longer that we allow ourselves to fixate on these past relationships, the longer that the healing process is going to take. I actually got rid of these amazing crystals that I had because that was like the last thing that had me energetically connected with one of my exes. It was the first crystal that I had, this giant big piece of labradorite that was beautiful. And a nice big chunk of amethyst as well. And I regifted them to new individuals. So I knew that there was a nice home for it because I didn't even want that. I didn't even want the space of like potentially selling them, even though they were both worth a lot of money, even that, the exchange of good would have still been that connection, that energetic connection to whatever it is that I purchased with that money that I got from them. So instead of just wiping it clean. And that's what it is. It's not allowing yourself to hold on to that energetic force, being able to stand on your own 2 feet, being able to know that you're capable of letting go, knowing that you are capable of healing fully without them in your life, and with you having the strength to be able to do whatever it is that you need to get done. So I think it's tapping back into that so that, what was that last card that you just pulled?
Ten of Pentacles.
10 of Pentacles,
Fuck
you know,
yeah.
so that you can have that 10 of Pentacles moment so that you can actually fulfill yourself fully. And that's going to benefit you in your career. That's going to benefit you in your home life as well. Whether that's with the partner or just with your friends, family, everything, the relationship with yourself. It all is going to progress forward once you allow yourself to fully detach and decommit to these past energies that are always trying to pull at us.
So you gave your crystals to somebody else to take on their bullshit?
What's up?
I said, so you gave your crystals away to somebody else so they can take all that stuff?
No, I mean, I cleansed them before.
With Lysol?
Yeah, with Lysol.
I know, I'm just playing. So, but at least you did that, right? Like, cleared it out.
Yeah. Yeah, once that cord's broken, it's not like it's going to carry on to some other person. They don't know that. They don't know the energy that was tapped into it. Uh-huh.
Be a good, reality show. Follow the crystal.
Yeah.
And do some weird, crazy shit with it. And then give it to somebody else and see if it happens. And not clear it. I would have broke them and stomped on them.
Nah. That'd be disrespectful to
This brings up an interesting
it all.
question because, I got divorced, right? So I have my wedding band still, and I've always been like, what do you do when you're divorced? And it's been almost 2 years now. You've been together. Where do you put that motherfucker? And I'm always like, I try and put it in the weirdest place away from all my life. But it's like, do you throw especially I didn't get like a cheap wedding band, right? I definitely didn't give her a cheap ring. I wonder if she sold that shit. And then I wonder, should I just sell that shit? It's a little different though for guy wedding bands, even though mine's like 14 karat gold. I'm like, it's just like it's the same thing with the crystals, right? It's like, what do you do with it?
It's a hard one because again, like anything that if you do sell it and you purchase something else, then it's still going to be connected. It's still going to have that knowledge that you attained this new piece of jewelry or whatever it is from that exchange of energy. So that'd be a tough one to kind of figure out. I'd say a lot of people probably just lock it away for a while, or
Just flush it down the toilet.
you could donate it. You know what I mean? You could sell and donate the money.
Oh, you know what? During coronavirus too, somebody else might be able to use it.
Yeah.
Look at you with all the answers. I hope that you didn't take my set. I was having fun and making a joke about it.
About what?
About cleaning the crystals with Lysol.
Yeah, no Lysol.
I know. I just hope you know I was having fun.
Yeah, I'm all
We're having a
good.
serious moment here, folks.
I'm all good.
All right. I'm just making sure. Some people are like, this motherfucker's insensitive. I'm a jokester, and I try to make jokes out of things. Sometimes I'll make jokes out of things that are sensitive subjects.
I am all
Like a
good.
fucking Gemini does that don't give a fuck and is probably laughing at the joke the whole time. Geminis.
Actually, a Gemini said I would have sold them. LOL, ruthless Gemini here.
Well, I already know the answer then, since my ex is a Gemini, so she sold it.
True.
Probably was the down payment on a new fucking Benzo. Fucking there you go.
Probably.
Geminis. This is a big one for Geminis. They got their lunar eclipse here with the sun in their 7th house of relationships. Woo! This is the week that builds up to it. At least, it's Monday. So, that's coming up, this lunar eclipse. But you'll see that full moon in Gemini already starting to form on Sunday. And this is going to change the game for Geminis. Let's see what's going down. Well, the 6 of Wands in reversed. I think that Gemini coming into this week, you're realizing what you thought was a victory is not a victory party. So I think that, if you're dating somebody and you thought it was an end-all be-all, maybe, what? You also might be realizing that your relationship or a partnership or something, it's not going the way you thought it would. It's not giving you the end result that you want it to be. So I would pay attention to that. It doesn't feel very victorious. It doesn't feel, and I think within you too, if you're single and you have nobody and you're not really dating right now, you're just keeping people kind of like on the side or whatever, or you're just kind of not dating. It's because maybe you're too afraid to find victory in your life. You've made it your last resort, love, in some sort of weird way. Wow, look at your issue. It's your mind. You're thinking too much and you think that you've figured out everything in your life. I think that you focused on yourself a lot too. North Node in Gemini, the lunar eclipse is going to be in Gemini. I think that this is definitely Gemini's dealing with how to like learn the basics of how to integrate into partnerships again. And that you have had past victories that have gone to soil, like the trophies have fallen off and broken, and you know, since it's coming up to holidays, it's a little bit like the lamp and Christmas Story, and tried to piece this whole thing together, and it's like probably throw it away. But you know, having the Gemini, and you are a Gemini, I had it for Leo, right? It's like, you know, bring stimulation into your life, not stimulation into overthinking things and about why you're not victorious. And I feel like there's a fear there because of all the Capricorn in your 8th house. You did pull the Page of Pentacles reversed. So this is you not wanting to show up for an offer, or people offer you things and you're turning them down. Or the person that you want something to show up and offer something to is not, because it's not going to be victorious. So if you're wondering why somebody's not showing up the way you want to, Gemini, it's because it's not meant to be. If you're not showing up at all and you want somebody and you want them to show up, they're not showing up because they don't know. You've got a lot, you're putting a lot of confusing energy. Like, you know, they might be seeing your other twin. Your shadow with all this is alone in the world. I knew it. I felt it. I said it. I said the whole focus on yourself so much and control. This is your shadow. You are feeling like you're really having a good time alone in the world, but you're really not. I mean, I can see there's a shadow card. So it's the shadow of like, no, I'm great. I'm alone. But it's like an empty bed there, and then it's a naked body that's not being touched the way maybe you even want to be touched. Maybe you're having somebody there, but you don't like feel victory with them, and you don't feel like it's offering you anything. So I think that Geminis are playing around. I think that Geminis in their relationships too have reached a place where they feel more alone in their relationships, and they need to figure that shit out. Especially about the offerings and if it's victorious or not. Geminis are definitely in a major relationship time. It's not just because of this reading. It's also the astrology too. You pulled the Death reverse. It's like, why are you not putting an end to the unvictorious things? Or why are you not transforming the whole idea that you're always not going to be victorious in love? I think it's both, but I think it's one or the other for some people. You know, we are dealing with Geminis here. So there's definitely this fear of integration and fear of transformation into having the ultimate victory in love. Oh, wow. You pulled the King of Pentacles in reverse with the Page of Pentacles. So I think you're dealing with, you know what? It's a little bit like Sagittarius. I mean, but it's so weird because it's like you're dealing with people who don't have the goods. Don't have the look, don't have the vibe, don't have the abundance, don't have the manifesting power. And it's making you feel alone. And I think that, I don't know why I'm getting this too. If you're trying to have a child right now and you're a Gemini with somebody and they're not able to fill you up and have a baby, they don't have the goods there either. Because this is like father energy reversed. Page of Pentacles reverse. Like there's no, you're dealing with people who aren't delivering the goods. You want them to deliver, but they can't. And then you're kind of feeling alone, and then you're afraid, and you know that there's no victory, but but it's at the same time like you're still kind of like sitting around. And I think you can't just like sit around and wait for something to change and hope that, what are you going to do in that moment if something comes good that you're going to change? Oh, you're going to finally deal with it? That always goes down well. That changes the whole dynamic too. Once you have to switch your mind and your emotions to the situation that you don't want to deal with, and then coming back to the good situation doesn't ever make it the same. That's the lesson. You just can't be naive with the South Node in your 7th about this kind of shit. You can't avoid it either, and can't be stuck in situations that aren't, you know, bringing goodness in your life. Your overall that you got here is, look at this, the 8 of Pentacles. I mean, you know, there's something beautiful about this card about having, I always call it the conveyor belt, that things work. In this card, I like it. It's playing the harp and perfect and knowing your talents and skills. You know these things. You're doing these things. Are you bringing that in relationships? Are you dealing with somebody who also knows their talents and skills that fit with your rhythm? Because it's one thing. Sure, they might be good at like electric guitar, but with the harp, that might not match. Now, I'm not saying you have to be playing harp, but it's like, it's one of those things, right? Like, like poker players, like, going out and hanging out with like, I don't know, like metal band, like probably not going to work. You both have skills, but are the skills in alignment in the right way? And trying to find that too. And your overall here is look at that divine feminine. That's what you need to tap into. I think that there's too much masculine going on in Geminis right now. Of this independent self, of this mind self, of this overthinking, of this, unsure what to do and seeing, and maybe mothering in kind of a way of like you think you're doing the divine feminine thing of holding space, but really you're doing the more masculine thing of like, I'm in control and I can do this for you. It's like the divine feminine holds space for only those that it's worth, the masculine that it's worth to bring the light to. So I feel like this is like where Gemini, you need to bring your feminine energy out and bring in and receive and find harmony again. Cause I feel like that's where you're not doing things. You're in a much more masculine place. I got to do this. I got this project. I got to do this. I got to do this by skills. I got to do this. I'm dealing with these little side pieces. I'm dealing with this relationship that's not giving me anything that I want. And I'm putting all this energy everywhere. And like, you're not holding the vibration of love at all the way that you wanted to at all, and you can't do that anymore. You can't do that shit. Calling you out. This lunar eclipse will shift things. You remember 2 weeks after that, solar eclipse on 14th of December in Sag, your relationship house with Mercury in the South Node. This is not playing around. Wow, you pulled Mars in the 8th house in Virgo. Woo! Somebody's wanting to get hot and heavy, but so picky and putting all that hot and heavy energy into work and mundane and boring. Oh, or you're having sex with somebody who's really boring. It's become a pattern.
Nothing worse than that.
It's 9:30. You should have already been in the bed and already had the alarm set and, not a lot of kink going on in this. When you need kink. It also means like, where have you committed so much of your energy towards that is so boring and mundane that it's not allowing for you to add sprinkles of beauty in your life for love? Donuts without icing and sprinkles? Pretty boring.
Need that chocolate syrup.
Or chocolate syrup, or I don't know. Or the cream. I especially like the chocolate bars with in the middle, the like custard in the middle.
Or maybe some s'mores.
The
with
cream
some
pies,
Kit Kat bars and some Reese's Pieces on it. Whatever it is, but you have to listen to yourself. You have to listen to that passion that's trying to get out. You can't just completely shut yourself off from the world and your knowingness, and then you just go down this path of willfully being blinded by your own light, so to speak, and you're not fully, processing what this happiness is that could bring to you, because we shut it out, we don't want to listen to it, and we just kind of get lost in the day-to-day cycles of life every day. Just continue to just walk through the path when all we have to do is kind of take a moment and just realize what it is that's actually going to bring us that happiness first. Whether that's speaking our truth or whether that is, not necessarily compromising ourselves, but allowing these other individuals to kind of break into our lives, and change it for a greatness. But we have to actually allow them to. We have to actually listen to those that are around us and see if it is going to work, instead of just saying, no, okay, I'm just going to continue doing my own thing. Because you're just going to miss out on this beautiful message, like Dave was saying, the trumpet players and the bass, all that fun stuff. Whatever it is, though, you have to be able to listen to the music and hear it for what it is and dance a little bit. Bring that happiness and joy back into your life, just that much. And watch how much it grows forward.
Well, I like the donut analogy, because it's like, if it's jelly filling and you don't like jelly, and right when you're biting it and the jelly's starting to come in, it's like, oh, I don't want that. But if you really want that cream filling, that custard, that really good quality custard, and it starts to show up. You know you like it, but then there's this whole like thing of like, no, I have control. I don't want to do this, and I'm not allowed to accept that. And you know, it's like, let the custard flow into your mouth and let the whole donut sink into you. We used to go when we were young. We used to smoke weed when we were kids, and we'd go to Krispy Kreme when it was brand new. And I remember watching people, and we used to appreciate the donut. The donut is not appreciated anymore. Homer loves the donut.
I've always been much more of a bagel man myself.
Well, I mean, I like bagels too, but we're on donuts right now, right? Yeah. I have donuts right now. I bought some last night. I need to go buy a donut store. Fuck this corporate shit. I'm going to go buy from the cool donut shops. I'm going to do that tonight, actually. But I'm just trying to say that why, Gemini, are you afraid when the custard that you want, maybe like jelly, whatever it is, you bite into it and it's coming in and you're like, nah. So you don't like jelly, you like custard, so you keep the jelly donut for some reason. And then when the custard shows up, you're like, no. That's what you need to process while you're doing it. Probably because of other things like I need to be healthy or I need to do this. And I'm saying this from like, maybe it's your job. Maybe it's the way that you set up your life. You're afraid of letting what you really want in all the way, and you're only allowing the things that you don't want fully to hang around. And there's nothing worse than looking at a half-eaten donut sitting on the fucking counter. That's the dudes or the girls or whatever you're playing with in your life right now. And you also at the same time, for the custard ones, that they're not even got a bite in it because you won't take a bite because you're too afraid of ingesting the goodness.
Boom.
We are at the last three. And who did we pick? Pisces. It's the fishes. And if I'm doing it in my head, we have not hit Cancers yet, and we have not hit Capricorn. Or we hit Capricorn. Who is it? It's Cancer.
We've had the mystical sea goats just yet.
I think it's Cancer and yeah, Capricorn. All right, Pisces. Let's see what's going on for the fishes out there. Hope you enjoy that custard or jelly filling, whatever you like. Well, you pulled the tower reversed. Wow. Tetris, the Game Boy is about to freak out. But you're still avoiding that. You're avoiding a tower moment in your life that you know needs to happen. So I think that, your love life situations, you're dealing with something that's just reached the peak, but you're just willing to try and extend it like they're trying to do with the money system, right? It's almost like, we just can keep printing more money. I can just keep printing more love or more space in the Tetris game. No, you can't. What are you going to do? Call a programmer now and call Nintendo and ask if they still have the guy who made fucking from Russia Tetris and have them open up more space for you? No. It's not possible. I think that that's the hardest part that you're dealing with in your life, though, Pisces, is you know that you have to put an end to some really big, beautiful things that you've made happen, but you're avoiding it. You're avoiding it. Or you got to reset the game, right? It's like you got to do a reset of the game, and you got to be willing if this person is willing to do the same things with you, and if you guys even come from the same space. You pulled the 7th house of relationships. Wow, is your challenge card. You know what? This is definitely Pisces. You gotta wake up big time. This is pretty intense here. This is very deep issues in your partnership, and you got to be honest with yourself and stop playing the lie within yourself about certain people. No, I don't want that to end. I'm not gonna tower it. No, it's fine. We're fine. Everything's good. Everything's good. It's not. Other people think it's crazy. Yourself thinks it's crazy, but you hide that. You're really good at hiding that. And there's definitely a very weird imbalance here, and it feels like it's very one-sided, and it feels like it's one-sided because it's not really who you are and who your partner is. It's almost like you've woken back up to who you really are, especially Neptune comes direct this week. It's going to wake you up big time. Well, you pulled the Knight of Pentacles upright, so it's definitely about moving on. It's a long journey, but you got to move on because this Knight of Pentacles is stopped. He ran into the zombie, tried to drive that. What is that? Is that 55 Bel Air or something, or 56, or it looks like a caddy actually. You're riding this old awesome car. No, the zombies are not good drivers. So you've been a zombie when it comes to this relationship thing, and you've run into a pole. It's time to back out that pole, take off the whole zombie thing, take your little injection from Pfizer, and I'm not recommending that, but I'm just saying that, and get out of the zombie world and get back in the car and move on in your life. Move on to the new journey. Don't stay. You're stuck on your journey. You're stuck on your journey. You're afraid to stop. You're stopped in being afraid to stop something or move on and completely, Sands Motel or Sands Hotel in Vegas. Wow, you pulled the black flower fragrance to 7th house. I think that your shadow is that you just keep putting on more shadow. Like you keep putting on more perfume on a dead body, I like to say, right? It's like you just keep putting on more donuts, showing up to it. You keep putting more icing on a old loaf of bread that's like moldy. And how many towers, how many icings, how many candies are on top of this thing, and how many of them are hard gummy bears too that'll break your teeth. I feel like it's like you're trying to float goodness and make something the best that it can be. I'll give you credit for that in a positive way. But Pisces, I think that you're in a position to where this could also be, if you're completely single and everything, you're afraid to move on. You're hiding a lot of issues that you have about fear of relationships, and you're afraid of, greatness. And that includes people that are in relationships with Pisces. You're afraid of a relationship that's awesome. You'll take okay. You'll be okay with just being stopped. And I think that that's the shift happening with Mars in your 2nd house, especially too, but in your self-worth. What did you pull here? You pulled the 4 of Cups. This is definitely something that you don't want. She does not want that cup. God's giving her that cup, and she's like, not good enough. Look at that. She's a mermaid. I can't make this shit up, Pisces. You're over something. You're not into something. You don't know how to deal with it, though. I think that you're too afraid to expose yourself about it. You know what you really want. Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't. But the healer. I mean, you have to heal by being willing to accept that you don't want something instead of taking on something that you really don't want. And I know that this card can sometimes mean that God's bringing you a great gift. Maybe God is, you don't want something, but then God is bringing you something. You're like, I can't take it because I'm holding on to something else. And the healer of this is Horus, the eye of Horus. And this eye sees, it's the all-seeing eye. It's the eye that sees from above and sees all of below. And I think that you have to see clearer now, and you have to see the truth to heal yourself, and you have to really own that. Because if you don't, how are you going to heal this situation? You're going to heal you have to heal this insecure, unhappy, not seeing and not getting what you want, and self-worth issued mermaid who's not under the sea singing her songs like Ariel, but depressed because she thinks she has to keep holding on to bullshit, or thinks that all she gets is a lonely, boring life, or that she just has to deal with people that isn't what she wants. You can't heal by holding that energy and not towering it out. Sorry. Saturn in the 1st in Leo. Wow. You have to learn confidence to be exactly the love that you want in your life, and to own it, and to be the expression of that, and to be the light of that, and to have that confidence. You can't do it any other way. And you have to own that now. And that's the problem with you, is you know what you want in your heart, but you're too afraid to take the risk to do it. And you're blocking yourself, and you can't block yourself no more. You're cock blocking yourself from happiness. You're cock blocking yourself from true love of what you want. You're putting limitations, or you have limitations, but you don't know how to deal with those limitations on how others can deal with that. You're not giving them options, or you're not presenting the truth. You're holding the light. There's a lot of that stuff too.
Yeah, we're all given that option at one point or another, whether we're going to allow that tower moment to happen and kind of figure out and be able to piece our life back together, or trying to hold on to it. and try to hold on to it and keep that lingering emotion, keep that feeling for just a little bit longer. At the end of the day, you're just, you're just prolonging the inevitable. There is going to be that tower moment, but are you going to accept it for what it is? Or are you just going to kind of have it almost like, like a sandcastle, so to speak, and you're just patching it up as the waves are coming in and taking those bits and bits of sand? Are you just patching it back up, trying to hold on to that thing? Or are you going to allow the beauty of the universe, the beauty of the nature to kind of wash it away so you can start anew? So you can rebuild a brand new life from that knowingness. That's what it's going to really lead to in your happiness, if you're able to kind of let it wash away, if you're able to progress forward, if you're able to accept the beauty for what it is and for what it was, rather than trying to hold on to the pieces of life as it's shattering around you.
What's up with the camera?
What do you mean?
It's like shaking.
Oh, I don't know. That's weird. It is shaking. The whole thing is shaking. Should be. I don't know. And you're all out of focus now. Sit up.
Yeah, I'm out of focus. The lights on the.
What is going on?
Oh, yeah.
Are we good now?
Yep.
We are live, everybody.
Well, now it's shaking again. Yeah, it's not the light, it's the camera. I just like push in the middle or something for the focus. So weird.
It was really weird. You sit up real quick? Yeah, that was weird too. I don't know. Hold on one second.
Well, I think you bring up a great
I can
point.
feel it. It's definitely shaking.
Yeah, just tighten it. Tight. Anyway, I don't think that that's a coincidence, Pisces, that it's shaking. It's like an earthquake that you're afraid to deal with. And I actually want to know, I want everybody to know that it's Pisces. I'm very empathetic to what you're going through. It's very hard because I know a ton of Pisces. And I know the astrology, and I know the insecurity, and I know the feelings that you're going through that are very difficult right now about like not knowing really how to show up for what you really want in your life. Even when it does show up, the thing that you really want, you don't know how to show up to it. You bail out. So, and that's dealing with insecurities. You're dealing with Chiron in your second. You can heal that though through the Sag of learning the responsibility to show up to what you really want and to make choices and go, I don't want that and I'm not going to deal with that. So, I mean, I honor the courage, but I also want to remind you that these nodes and this lunar eclipse is in your fourth house. This is trouble at home. This is trouble at your foundational level, in your emotional level, and how you deal with those insecurities. And they're dealing with physical stuff. I mean, I know that people might think I'm a harsh ass for being just real, but that's how I've been an astrologer for so long, is I'm real, right? Like I know what the issues are. They happen to all of us at certain times in life. When it was all the Virgo Saturn shit, and it was all that shit, and Mars Retrograde in Virgo, like I was very insecure in myself. Even when I started this channel, the daily horoscope was when Mars was retrograde in Virgo. And I was very insecure. I didn't like the way I looked, but you watch after the Mars went direct and everything, and I started knowing my value and I started knowing my worth, and I fucking owned that, and that's what brought me to where I'm at today. And I had to go through a bad breakup too at that time. It was Mars in my second house after going direct. And so I just want to tell you that, like, because you have to know your value now. Like Mars demands it though more on Pisces, and you're sensitive. And I just want to let you know, like, you have to be very clear in what you want in your life. You know, you can't just keep kind of like, you know, you act like you say you know what you want, but then when it actually is there, you don't take advantage of it. You don't take a step towards it. You know, you fiddle around with it, and then you're hard, you back away a lot, right? And then you find a great excuse, and you keep a good, solid and beautiful base of who you are as a person. But a lot of that can also be used to avoid the real things that that you need to confront and face. So, it's easy to be a Pisces and run around like everything is all great and show the fun side of life, and that's what you're here to do. But at the same time, you got to deal with the karmic stuff and the stuff that needs to be dropped off at the trash station. And sometimes it's stuff that you've built your whole life upon. And I think that you're at one of those moments. And I said this in my weeklies on High Vibe, which, by the way, 20% off right now for this week. It's called Holiday 2020 discount code on highvibe.tv. But I told Pisces, I was like, you all need to be ready. Jupiter and Saturn are moving into your 12th house. Saturn for 2 years, Jupiter for 1 year, and we've never seen this. None of us could have seen this. Your grandparents couldn't have seen this. Your great-grandparents couldn't have seen this. So Pisces are about to go through a very hardcore, spiritual, deep lesson. And you're at the precipice of this, but you're the queen and kings of avoiding it. And especially in this partnership realm, because that's where we're at right now and talking about. Neptune comes direct, square the nodes. It's dealing with your emotional life, and it's dealing with the responsibilities to put yourself in the right emotional place of who you really are and stop projecting a false sense of self and what you don't want to be. And it affects you dramatically with depression, to inadequacy feelings, feeling abandoned, because you're not showing up into your full value. And there's something about Pisces that are hyper-focused since Uranus went into Aries in 2010 into 2011 of insecurities about your physical body. And now we got Mars here trying to clean that up. You're doing the right thing. You're seeing how special you are again. And I think Pisces are the most magnetic and beautiful people I've ever seen, always. And it's like I help a lot of my Pisces clients, and I help a lot of my friends that are Pisces remember that in themselves. Remember that you're magical. But if you're going to keep buying that story and keep looking in the mirror, and I don't know why I'm channeling to you all right now, but it's like my guides were like, like Weight Watchers and shit. You think that's just going to work? No, it's like, or if you think you're too thin, or, oh, you don't like the way that your fucking this looks, or you don't like the way that your leg looks, or you don't like the way your feet looks, or you don't like the way this looks, or you don't like the way your nose looks, you don't like the way this looks, whatever. It's the magic inside of you that's nobody sees any of the things that you see. Unless you see it, then everybody sees it. That's the hard part about being a Pisces, is you're a projector in that way. So we see the insecurities on your Instagram. We see the insecurities in your life when we're with you. We feel it because you feel it. It's easy to feel. And I'm here to tell you, especially if you're stuck in relationship situations you don't want to be in, we feel that even more. Holiday 2020 discount code. Capricorns, looks like Cancers are going to be last. So I hope that helped Pisces. Maybe it didn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like crazy. I don't know. I wasn't going into human design there, by the way, who's telling me to go cut the cult human design shit. That was just because Pisces represents Neptune, which is a projector of what looks like something that's not. So those are terms that were way before human design. So don't know what to tell you. And I'm not going to get all aggro in the chat on whoever that is, because I'm trying to show compassion to Pisces and what they're going through. And if you want to throw up stuff that you're making up, I would have been clear and said human design. I love human design. I use human design, but right there was not using human design, because I'm talking to a collective of Pisces that are all 5 different types, and all different 3 type of energy types and non-energy types, the 2 that are not energy types. And I know Pisces that are manifesting generators. I know Pisces that are generators. I know Pisces that are manifestors. just because you're a Pisces doesn't mean you're a projector. So I never said that, and that is not what I said. And I'm trying to help all these other Pisces out. And if you're a Pisces yourself, like, you're not wanting to listen to the whole thing. Like, now you're projecting that. And I'm a 5-1. I get projected on. It's fine. But, like, I'm just trying to tell you that I think that Pisces are the most magical, beautiful souls on the planet. I really do. And I'm trying to let them know when I say this stuff to help them, because I care. And I care about all signs. But I'm just trying to say, like, there's a sensitivity and there's a knowing and there's a way to talk to Pisces to have them see things and to have them see it, because it's harder for them to see it sometimes. So I would just appreciate in the chat if you were very kind to all those Pisces that are going through that shit, instead of like start like projecting onto me and start saying some shit that makes no fucking sense to what I said. So I'm fucking looking out, I'm a Leo. I'm going to look out for the fucking Pisces all day long. Like, I'll be the lion and I'll fucking roar at anybody that fucking tries to fuck with my little fishies. All right. All right. And Capricorns do the same. Capricorn and Pisces have a very strong combo, and the mystical goat doesn't get mystical without the Pisces. And Capricorns are the same way. They fucking look after Pisces big time. So let's see what's going on with Caps. Well, we got the star card here. Woo! Look at that. Interesting. Tramp stamp star. But the star card's a great card because it is, of course, after the Tower card, but it is that moment of, okay, what's next? I got to follow the universe. And it's a clearing card, but it's a card that offers you the insight to, especially in love, it's starting from a new field. It's almost like I'm kind of ready to start new. If you're in your relationship, it's like, can we just like reset this whole relationship? If you're dating, you're kind of like, I want to reset everything. Let me just like, cancel all the plans I had or stop all the texts with all these people and let me start over. Let me see if I can bring something in new. But it also means like, you want something fresh and new no matter what. You're not into what you're into and the way it's going right now, Capricorn. Your challenge card that you got is the solar return of age. And I think that part of that has to do with, one, maybe you feel like the person's not responsible enough. I feel that one a lot here, but I also feel like within you that maybe you're being a little bit too like you're holding responsibilities that you need to hold on to. And I think that's the issue. I mean, especially being a Capricorn with all this Capricorn, I think that the star card's offering you incredible, awesome moment here to realize that you don't need to be so old energy or deal with somebody who can't be old themselves, or now you find somebody that can carry the responsibility, but they might not be vibing with you because you're coming across too old. You know what I mean? Like, you're coming across too fucking like, you got all this shit under control. And like, I think that at the end of the day, I think a lot of this has to deal with that your issue is you're not taking the real return of Saturn, which is the ultimate lesson of where are you blocking and restricting yourself from the ultimate moment of resetting into a beautiful thing where you've learned all the lessons, things are falling down, but you can move into, with the knowledge of knowing where things are going, into a beautiful, more divine place. I think that you're afraid to go into the universe with a more divine place for love. What did you pull for this? You pulled the King of Swords. I mean, I think you have to be very clear and be very clear in the communication that you want in your life. And you have to be willing to see the trajectory and go in that direction. And it's a little cold. And I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like you're going to have to be a little bit cold. You already are a Capricorn, but not like the old kind of agey Capricorn, but just like the cold cut. This is where I'm going. And I know I need to go to a reset place and I need to go to a better place. And you know what? When you look deeply at this star card, it's like there is this kind of like feeling within oneself in the natural place, but there's the guy grabbing the booty, right? Like there's something about, and she is wrapped around him, there is that like new energy, that excitement, that youth feeling of love that is necessary, and you're clear if that's there or not, and you're clear where you're blocking yourself from that. You probably have those opportunities, but you might be playing fucking rules. He pulled sacrifice. So that's the thing, is are you willing to sacrifice the rules and play by the real rules? The rules of getting to that fucking exciting place that you want to be in love? Or are you just going to keep playing all these like fucking weird unwritten rules in yourself of like how like things should look and all this stuff? And you're missing out on a lot. You're missing out. You're in a relationship that's boring, especially not having that zest because you're not willing to speak up and be very clear in the direction that you want to be. Why did you get that star card? King of Cups. I mean, it's time for you to own the emotions that you want and have better control the emotions that you want and be secure with where you're at. You're going to feel secure emotionally when you're at that spot, not when you're at like, I don't want to grab their butt. They don't want to grab mine. I don't know. We're not really into this thing. We're just kind of doing this because of the kid. We're trying to do this because of this. We're trying to do this because of that, or we're doing this for our religion, or we're doing this, you know, or I'm not doing it at all because, you know, I don't want love, or da 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 da, or you know what I mean? Like, there's other things I could say, but they're politically incorrect right now in today's environment. You pulled the Eight of Swords. Well, this is the card of being sick and toxic, and definitely restriction. It's like trapped too. And I think that you're trapped in what you see of where you want to go. You're trapped from where you want to go and what you want life to be like. And you have to cut through the trap yourself. You have to cut through, you have to take the blindfold off, and you have to face that truth. But it's like, you know exactly what you want to feel. You got to sacrifice these rules and these like ways of how life should look, and how you got to be responsible for these things. And that's what needs to go. You pulled the Four of Pentacles. You're holding on to something either way too tight and you don't know how to let it go, or you're feeling like you really want something. And I think you're going through both. You're holding on to either rules or a person that, you know, is blocking you from it because you really want something magnificent and valuable and amazing and the ultimate coin to have. But you can't get that if you can't deal with letting go of the way that something is not a coin no more and that precious. And you look at this, veiled. Ooh, wow. Haven't seen her for a minute. You're keeping this secret. You're keeping this under wraps. And you're also keeping a blindfold on yourself. And you're holding yourself from that ultimate life that you want. So you're like staying behind the curtain instead of going to the curtain call and going on stage to the life that you really want with love. And that's not going to work anymore, Capricorn, this week. Especially this lunar eclipse is in your 6th house and in your 12th house. This is time to get the life that you want instead of staying in behind the curtain. Not going to work out like that anymore. That's where your South Node is. It's time to get the world that you want. It's time to get the love that you want. Stop fucking around. You did pull the 5th house, Mars in Scorpio. Holy shit. This is definitely like needing that star card energy. And I'm not joking. Like, that is Mars in Scorpio, sex and love and 5th house, right? Like, let's look at those with this card, because this is what this is saying is like that energy is Mars in Scorpio in the 5th. Like, I can't make that up. So are you going to find that? And if you don't have that, or you are choosing not to go in that, and some of the politically correct things I was going to say is like, you know, it's like interesting how people are like, you know, afraid to live their life because of all the things they're telling us to be. And like, well, I got to go do this. I got the holidays coming up. I got to, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like I can't do that, or it's like, you know what? I don't know what medicine you fucking think is out there therapeutically wise, but fucking passion, love, excitement, and happiness is the fucking medicine to all life, not the way that they're telling you to be. And I don't care what anybody fucking says. Like, we all know that. We all feel that. And that's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah, the confidence and the passion is what can save us in this life. But somehow, for some reason, it's easier to fall in that fear. You know, it's easier to kind of believe that we're not capable of doing something, or just that allowing that fear to overwhelm us and overstep the confidence and overstep the passion too. And that's the worst aspect of it. When we have this passion to grow, we have this drive to communicate, we have this drive to progress forward in life, but yet there's this something about the fear that kind of holds us back, keeps us in this place, you know, and it doesn't actually let us fully express ourselves from the deepest aspects of our whole entire body, you know. And that again, that card is a perfect example of what we're all capable of having if we take the chances and going out and get that, you know. If we go out and take the chances of being that vulnerable individual and letting this this new love and this new passion overstep, you know, and supersede the fear that we have all within inside of us, because we all have that fear, you know, but it just comes down to whether or not we're actually going to let that kind of you know, captivate us in this story that we're trying to tell our life. Is it going to be one based around fear and doubt, or is it going to be one based around passion and confidence and desire and actually going out and getting it? That's what we need to figure out, and that's what we need to actually learn how to implement in our life, you know, is taking that step, taking that progression forward, and not allowing us to kind of just sit back in that doubt and that fear while the world just passes us by.
Well, it's survival. Like even that energy is survival, right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting that right now in the world, they're trying to tell us everything that is like keeping us the most away from like ultimate survival. Like they're actually doing the opposite. Survival is going for things. Survival is, we are all built as human beings for survival and to go into the edge of survival, to go out, right? But they're doing it in a scared form, like, oh, you got to go to a grocery store and you got to do this, like it's like, oh, that's the survival from the fucking the hidden thing, right? Like it's like that is not survival. Survival is going into passion, into the boldness, into the truth, into the connection of life. That is also what keeps the species alive. Is that passion, literally, by having more babies. So like, if you're afraid of that and you don't know how to go for that and you're going to stop that in life, then you're also, that's the one thing they're not talking about. I know there's some babies being born and people still getting pregnant and stuff, but they actually did a study that this is going to be one of the weirdest years of not as many pregnancies as of all time. Right? Because people are like, I'm unsure about this or unsure about that. They're not willing to. So the species now is starting to, are we going to become an endangered species because people are afraid to find that shit? It's like Gattaca, like, you know, like that movie is gnarly. That's the shit that's coming. I warn about in my pre-2020 video, which is free on highvibe.tv only because I won't put that shit on YouTube. You can just watch it on our free, awesome, I forgot we called that section, but it's free programming that.
High Vibe featured free content.
Featured free content. And you can download the app and watch it, or on Apple TV or Roku, or your Android or your iPhone and watch that, or watch it on computer, highvibe.tv. It's definitely a survival guide for the 2020s and all my predictions that have come true, like literally. So, and how to get through it. So, Cancer's the last ones. Survival. All right, Cancer, let's see what's going on. Last one is you for this week. You got a lot of stuff in your love house with Venus. You got all these planets in Capricorn, right? In your relationship house, you know, Mercury here. This is, you know, time's kind of running out for you when it figures out your love life here, believe it or not. Well, you pulled the King of Cups. Holy cow. The ultimate happy spot for love and relationships. Time to really step into the emotional energy that you want and crown it and step into love. Look at that. There's a heart there too. So this looks like a great week, but you got to follow what you really want emotionally and go all the way and crown that in yourself or with that person. And if you're not feeling that with somebody, then don't crown it anymore or take the crown off. You know what I mean? Because you have control of the feelings that you want to have in your life, but are you in a place to where you're denying what you really want? Because King of Cups is like, okay, you can be controlled emotionally, but it's about learning the control to get the emotions that you want, knowing how to get them. Your challenge that you got this week is air, communication. But this is the air element, so it's all three air signs. It's Gemini communication, it's Libra relationships, and it also is like how to change your world. And I would say that that's your issue. Here you are, you want the ultimate love, you want the ultimate feeling, you want all this stuff, but you're gonna have to be willing to communicate clearer, and you're also gonna have to be willing to understand the dynamics of relationships and how the world changes about that. Your challenge that you've got right now is the King of Pentacles reversed. So this is you not feeling in your game, especially with value, or you're not feeling like, you know, you have your game on top of the world, or your partner, you might not feel like they have their game on top of the world. This means that, you know what, I think a lot of it is, it's like, you know, you're too afraid to admit that you want the ultimate love. And you know what? It's time to find partners that have that value, that have that ultimate, that in many ways can offer you the things and give you the things that you can build and grow with in your life, because maybe you're at a place where you're not feeling that. And maybe you're with a partner who doesn't have that ability, right? Like the King of Pentacles, if you look at this card in this deck, right? Like everybody's outside squandering at the Dead Mart, the 99-cent store, and they are in a very nice store. The zombies are outside, they can't get in, and they're just cruising and chilling and have everything, and then everything's all nice and stuff, and everybody's like, at the Dollar Mart. That's your issue. Like, are you willing to take that? You're like afraid to take a better deal. You'd rather take the shitty deal in your life. That's not going to work out. Look at that. Blinded to the pain. And, you know, to have that over that air element is, it's in the air tonight, right? I don't want to get all fucking Genesis on you and shit, but like, I feel like, you know, Phil Collins, I just want to say like that this is like, you know you're in pain, but you're almost like so accustomed to it. But it's time to take those blindfolds off and fix the pain and communicate the pain and integrate into what you emotionally want to feel and take the better deal of wherever that is in life. That's going to give you to the place that you want to be. You're a Cancer. You don't want to be out there running with all the fucking zombies. You want to be in that fucking nice store where everything's nice and with that partner where everything's fucking secure and good and not boring either and full of love, because some of you might have this but not have this. But I got a feeling that this is all turned around now, that you're realizing that your partner don't have this and you don't have this, but you're ready for that. And that's, if those two don't come together, that's the pain that's you're going through. Why'd you pull that King of Cups upright? Ten of Swords reversed. You're not ready to let go, which I think that's one of the patterns is like you keep running in this scenario like you want the ultimate love, you want the ultimate happiness, you want the ultimate feeling, but you're avoiding going into that feeling fully. So you stay in the patterns where you're denying yourself of that. Like, why are you denying yourself of going into the ultimate feeling that you want to have? Like, why do you keep finding an excuse, finding some same thing, finding a pattern that you stay in constantly? And when that pattern comes up to be changed, you keep doing it. So that's not going to be good if you keep doing that this week. That's going to leave you feeling very empty and miss out on a lot of amazing opportunities. And the reason why that you pulled that King of Pentacles reversed is, look at this. You got the Sun card. It's time for you to go for where the sunshine is in life, where the ultimate happiness and the success and the true energy. And that's the real security of life, right? I love how she put this on here, but it's like the real security and success is when you're in your true sun of your true power and the true happiness. Happiness is everything. And you know what? Being in a position when you're with energy, when you don't feel great or you don't have the abundance or you're with a partner that doesn't have abundance, the sun shines to the energy when you light yourself up to the ultimate happiness and you stop playing these tricks on yourself and you stop saying these shitty situations and you stop, you know, staying blind to the pain of what you're going through and keep holding on to the crap and not being willing to, honest to God, be in the connecting force of the intellectual aspects, the air element, the stimulation element of things, and changing things up. Air changes things up in the air. It changes things up in our minds. You did pull as your overall card here. Wow, the Three of Fire, Three of Wands. It's time to open up. Look at the dragons. It's time to open up to the ultimate awesome new opportunities. Take the opportunity. Do not waste your opportunities this week. I was saying opportunities just right before that about that King of Cups, but you have the ultimate opportunity right now, unless you're going to block it with doing the same patterns of blocking the opportunities and afraid to do it and fears and anxieties about all that stuff and doing the same shit over and over again. Look at this. You got Soulmate card. It's like, I think that you have the ultimate opportunity for the ultimate soulmate situations, but ones that connect with the true soul of who you are in the sun, right? Like that true essence of your soul, not the soulmate energy that you know lacks the ability of the value to even fully see you, or maybe they see you, but they can't offer you the value to be the person that you want to be in that true light. And that's the pain, is you know that you have ultimate opportunities. You see the dreams and the visions. Neptune comes direct this week. That deals with your 9th house of stories. This is the ultimate storybook of a soulmate situation, but it also could be the ultimate pain of one if you're continuing to sit in the one that is a soulmate that's not the one of the ultimate opportunities. And the dragon and the fire and the King of Cups. I mean, this is fucking like, you got the reading. And you got South Node in Libra in the 8th. You need to focus on exactly what you want instead of staying committed to relationship situations or committed to this dark place that you find peace in somehow. You're addicted to being sadistic in a way of not receiving the relationship energy, and you need to take the bold energy to have the best situation in your life.
Yeah, we can focus on kind of like the normality of life, so to speak, or kind of focusing like, oh, we need to have harmony in our whole entire life, and yet that can throw it all completely out of whack because it doesn't need to have this complete balance of it. Sometimes we need to have a little bit more passion and drive into some aspects of our life, while the other ones kind of are on the back burner and fixing it and letting those kind of heal up the way they need to be. So instead of kind of like focusing on having it in a box and having it look this way, look that way, just focus on the happiness, focus on the passion, and let everything else kind of fall back into place. And I think that's all of us as well. You know, we can kind of get lost with inside of ourselves of trying to hold it all down when we don't need to, you know. So people are going to be able to pick us up and pick up the slack in other aspects of our life as long as we're kind of focusing on what's going to continue that driving force of us to push forward. Don't get caught up on some of the random bullshit that doesn't necessarily need to get done to fix you in your life. You know, it's always going to fall into place, and allow other individuals to help you out. You know, if you have the capability of having people in your life that are able to kind of hold it down for you and be honest and implement that truth into you, and sometimes you're not able to see it, but as long as you can trust those people to kind of inject that happiness into you, let them do it. You know, let them be that driving force also, so that it all can kind of cream and it'll all carry forward in you. You know, but you have to allow that actually to happen. You have to be vulnerable enough, and you have to have that confidence first and foremost to know that you're going to push through regardless of what the situations are.
Yeah, because this lunar eclipse in Gemini coming is your 12th house lunar eclipse, which I'm sorry to say is this will either be the greatest spiritual fucking dream of your life coming true, or you chose to play this belief that you have to do the mundane, boring, and typical world day-to-day story with the South Node there in Sag and miss the stimulation of the ultimate dream because you're not willing to be a little bit more Gemini, wild and crazy, and let go of that mundane, boring, day-to-day kind of like fucking reality that you feel secure in, but it's sadistic based off what I'm seeing here. And I think you're right, allowing the energy of the sun to come in, like the opportunities, the dragon energy, that 3 of Wands, like there's a whole new doorway opening up here. It's whether or not you're going to capitalize on it or not. So,
Are you going to walk through that doorway?
or I saw somebody was saying in the chat, like, I'm still looking. It's like, are you sure that you haven't seen it and it's in your face and you're just not willing to deal with it? You know, like that's usually where cancers are at. It's been throwing in your face opportunities for 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, it can be that fear of fully embracing that next step in life that kind of limits us from that growth.
Yeah. Well, Deep Love Tarot dropped it on you.
Holiday 2020.
And Holiday 2020 is a discount code if you want to be a member of HighVibe.tv to get all the exclusive daily video horoscopes, weekly sun sign horoscopes, weekly tarot, weekly intuitive, and of course shows like Full Disclosure that Craig and I do that are awesome. Also Deep Astrology getting its full form with the charts, everything, and we go live direct on the app. So, you know, you get everything earlier than what you would get on like YouTube. This is the only show that we do on YouTube that's actually fully live in its full form.
Did you say we're doing Full Disclosure tomorrow? Is that what I had overheard?
Yeah, because it's Thanksgiving on Thursday.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing it tomorrow night.
Yeah, so if you want to watch Full Disclosure, use that discount code Holiday 2020. We're giving 20% off everything, including all the paid videos on the website. So make sure that you check it out. Love you all. Any last words? Or
I mean, just be you at the end of the day. You know, don't let individuals kind of try to put you in a box. You can put yourself in a box if you want, but don't let other people kind of dictate their thought process on you, tell you how to live your life, tell you if you can be happy, if you can be sad, whatever it is. Embrace yourself fully, whatever that weirdness, whatever the boringness of it, because you know, let's be honest, you know, sometimes you're just not, everybody's not cut out to just be that fucking weirdo out there. But we need that, and we need the other stable individual. So if you're that stable individual, be that stable individual for that crazy friend of yours, or that crazy aspect of yourself. Whatever it is, just be you fully, and love yourself. And everyone else, if they're not embrace that, they can go fuck themselves. And happy Thanksgiving.
I was going to say, I don't know if he was doing that to himself, but hey, have a good one. Love y'all. Holiday 2020. Say goodbye to Cordell. Bye.
See ya.